Greetings and salutations, and welcome to Flintlocks and Fireballs, where a handful of mad actors will attempt to navigate the treacherous waters of Dungeons and Dragons. I am your host and Dungeon Master, Jason Phelps, and I am joined as ever by Robbie Rhinoceros Bellekom, Sam Rhinoceros Burns, and Ellie Hippopotamus Sparrow.
I very much win. Sorry,
Yes,
mine's the best. Yeah.
So, and this week we are once again all distributed, cast to the four winds.
We miss you.
We miss you dearly.
I'm less drunk than we were last week, which is a shame.
Yes,
Yes, that's also a shame.
yes, we
although
do more
I
drinking when
have
we're all
whiskey.
together.
Yeah.
So, I think it's time, as ever, for us to gaze into the crystal ball of the future. And much like the future, my crystal ball, which is to say my microphone, is a black sightless orb. Come, black sightless orb, tell us of the present. Hello, it's Future Jason with messages from the present. To begin with, I'd like to talk about our current and ongoing sponsor, Libris Arcana. Libris Arcana offers monthly or quarterly dice subscriptions. Head over to librisarcana.com and for less than $12, so just under £9, you'll receive a set of 7 premium dice and 3 randomly selected bonus dice every month to sate the will of the die-hungry beast below. This month's set is Glitter Bomb Blue. If you'd like to create your own Glitter Bomb Blue, you'll need an ounce of vodka, a quarter ounce of blue curacao, champagne, some lemon juice or just an actual lemon, edible glitter, gold-coloured sugar, or ordinary granulated sugar, and either orange or lemon zest. Take a champagne flute, or a martini glass if that's your preference, and start by rimming the glass. If you've not done this before, you can pour some lemon juice or water into a shallow dish and then dip the rim of the glass in the juice. Alternatively, you can take your lemon, cut it in half, and just run the half lemon along the rim to moisten it. Next up, take another shallow dish and mix your edible glitter and gold-coloured sugar together, then dip the juiced rim of your glass into this mix to get a lovely glittery gold rim. If you don't have gold-coloured sugar, you can mix ordinary granulated sugar and finely grated orange or lemon zest for a similar effect. Next up, take a cocktail shaker, fill it with ice, then add the ounce of vodka, the quarter ounce of curacao, a teaspoon of lemon juice, and half a teaspoon of the edible glitter. Shake vigorously and strain into the champagne flute, topping up with champagne. Serve immediately to the sound of Herbie Hancock, Oscar Peterson, or maybe just Jerry Rafferty if you're feeling the Glitter Bomb Blues. Additionally, listen up for a spot from our friends over at Party Advantage during the break this episode. This week on Robbie Watch, Robbie is in Norwich at the Theatre Royal. Norwich is the main city in the English Shire of Norfolk, literally meaning the North Town in the region of the North Folk. The corresponding town in neighbouring Suffolk is Ipswich, which derives from Gypswich, which presumably means the town where you're likely to get gypped by the South Folk, especially if you're one of the North Folk. And a quick reminder that we do now have a fan-run Discord server set up by spicy_burritos, which you can find a link to in this episode description if you'd like to discuss the folly of parrot purchases or anything else you fancy. Well, the distant sound of explosions means that my time is up, so this is farewell from future me, and back to you, past Jason. Wretched thing that cannot speak. It merely stares mutely at us, cursing us, thumbing its non-existent nose to our lack of omniscience.
That was upsetting.
So, does anyone else have anything to say before we start?
You alright?
Yeah, whatever you're on, Jason, lower the dose.
Yeah, or up it, either way. Bit more. Always more. We do improv, that's the rule, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
More, yes. More.
Yes,
Oh, that's how you end up not sleeping for like 80 hours. No.
Several months till that, yeah.
Hey.
Alright then, so, on that cheerful note of improvisational abuse. It is time for Flintlocks and Fireballs. Our land stands on the sabre's edge.
Our cities are a powder keg.
Brother chains brother, no one's free. A life on land is short, you'll see.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.
Previously on Flintlocks and Fireballs. The party, having successfully managed to stop the shadow bomb, and indeed the further shadow bombs that were created, have managed to earn a much-deserved break from a constant fear of sunset. Having taken the opportunity to engage in a little late night burglary to help let off some steam, they also learned a thing or two about one another's pasts. Corzin unburdened himself of a great deal that had been holding on to for some time.
That's one word for it.
Shush, Corzin, you're not supposed to be aware of this strange narrative statement.
Yeah, stop looking through the fourth wall, Corzin.
That
Only
statement
bards
was not
can do
canon.
that.
That's absolutely not canon.
It's not canon that bards can look
It's
through the
not
fourth
canon,
wall
it's not
either.
canon. Meanwhile, firmly within the secure bindings of the fourth wall, the party have returned from honest Al-Sadim's discount pet shop. Sorry, not discount this time. High quality pet emporium. Having
What are we going to
acquired
do with a monkey?
2 new companions for the party. A hitherto unnamed monkey and allegedly the legendary parrot of Captain Edwin Scarroll. Doom awaits you! The 3 of you having just left the pet shop, are now find yourselves approaching the opulent hotel of the Silken Goose, facaded in beautiful pink stone. It's actually one of those hotels that flies national flags out the front. You find yourselves in front of this beautiful pink facaded building, and yes, it is the mid-morning.
So, I've got an idea for how we can get this man's papers.
Right.
Go on.
Does it involve anything to do with a giant parrot and monkey that we now have to take with us to our secret super plan?
That I haven't really thought about how we're going to deal with, to be honest. I mean, I think you've both made your beds there. Just saying.
Do you think friend could pet sit?
Maybe Frank could pet sit.
I certainly could pet sit, but I don't think until they've become a little bit more friendly to you, I don't think I could stop them running off.
I mean, friend doesn't have any hands, as far as I'm aware. So, what you're expecting them to do?
I mean, I'm certainly willing to spend a little bit of time getting to know that monkey, but you might want, there's a little bit more work to be done there.
Is the monkey in a cage?
The monkey is in a cage.
Okay, I feel really bad that it's in a cage.
Wait, I think you might have let it out of the cage. No, you let it out of the cage.
I let it out of the cage. Is it on any kind of lead? Or anything?
Nope, it is currently perched.
I made an animal handling check, didn't I?
Yeah, it's currently hanging off your arm.
That's why I've got tides used.
Yep, that is still active. Tides is active.
So I've got a monkey on my arm.
And the parrot is still on Corzin's shoulder.
Beware!
See, I don't think he's going to be great in the social situation.
Maybe we could pretend we're travelling circus performers. I can be the ringmaster. That wasn't actually what I was going to suggest. Okay.
Okay, what's the brilliant plan? We'll work the monkey into
It's
it.
a simple plan. I have a spell where I can make people do things. I could make him give us his papers.
Does he know that you've done it?
Out of character, let me check. I'm not going to say in character, let me check my spell card. That's not what's going to happen. It doesn't say.
1 moment. I can confirm that for you.
If it's charm person,
So-
I think they'd know.
It's
what to do.
suggestion.
Suggestion. Suggestion is a little weird.
So it's a bit stronger.
Suggestion.
Yeah, you've got more info in the handbook than I have on my card, so
yes.
do feel free to check.
It does not say. So, to that I would say, from previous uses of suggestion, you know that it really depends upon what the
Actually managed to
suggestion.
use it before.
You've not used it before?
I tried.
That's true, but
with
she
a
resisted.
Again, but she resisted.
Yeah. Okay. In which case, you don't know.
Good. Right. Okay. Let's do it.
So you've got to cast it subtly.
Yes, and I've got to make the request sound semi-reasonable. Has always felt like it's a rule. So we've got to come up with an excuse why I'd need his papers, but it doesn't have to be like an amazing excuse. Just an excuse.
Well, sounds like perhaps it might.
Oh, what if I tell him to leave his bag in the bathroom for a few minutes because I'm going to give him a present and it's a surprise, and then I take his
be
papers.
Really obvious later on. How about one of us goes in there first and sits down near him, and then you come in and pretend you're checking people's papers, and we'll be very compliant and show you our papers, and then he'll see it's normal, and then you ask for his, and then there's a problem with his, and you have to take them.
That's not actually a bad idea.
That's quite good, actually.
I think possibly alcohol might grease the wheels a little bit more here.
Yes.
So if we get him talking, drinking, maybe not exactly sober, guards down a little bit.
That sounds good.
He is a snob, isn't he? So you'd have to be.
Alright, so we'll get him
posh.
really expensive drunk.
Okay.
Who's he gonna like the best if he's a snob?
Hang on, is he going to believe I'm checking papers, looking how I look?
Maybe I'll check the papers and you make
can't
friends
do
with
the
him
spell,
first.
though, can you?
No, but you
I
suggest that you do what the person says.
I mean, I've got other clothes.
But if
Depends
you're
what
sat
sort of
with him-
snob he is.
I mean, I've got some darker clothes I could wear that I could potentially look sort of official high-class drow in.
That'd probably be a better bet.
Yeah.
Out of character for a second, are the Ebon Guards still here?
You have seen them still maintaining a presence in Castlewood Square.
Oh, shit. Fuck.
Sorry, Castle Square Market, I should say.
How far is that from the place?
That is... Yeah, you're literally a street's length away from the Castle Square Market.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Ooh.
So conceivable.
Yeah, you could be one of them. To someone who doesn't really know.
Well, that's not really the issue. I mean, if I can get away without being seen, I could wear my other clothes. They're not going to walk into a high-class bar, are they?
I wouldn't have thought so unless they had a reason.
It's unlikely.
I mean, from what you said, it doesn't sound like they're the type to go moonlighting.
True.
Probably wouldn't actually understand what that meant.
Shit. Right, I'd be tempted to get changed in there. Don't really want to be...
Yeah.
Well, that's fair enough.
And
Out
you
in
should
the
give us
street.
some time to sort of make him friendly. And
Yeah, because I mean, I'll get into a posh bar dressed like I am. I think I'm in my second outfit for reference, because I look sort of weird and high class. But yeah, while I'm in there, I suppose I could go and surreptitiously change in the privy into something that looked like I could be an official papers type person, maybe. Because I mean, looking like a performer, he's not going to believe I'm checking people's papers, is he?
No, but you're right. That sounds like a reasonable idea. We got to find him first, though. And we basically just have a name to go on, and the fact
a monkey and a parrot.
Very true.
Don't forget the monkey and the parrot.
Well, I mean, thinking about it, could we not?
This is a fool's errand.
Shut up.
Could we not maybe drop these back at the lodgings?
I suppose.
Yes, maybe we could. I don't think they're going to help.
Oh,
No.
But make saints damn sure that
Unless
we
you're
don't
going to
leave a window
distract
open.
him with the murder parrot. I mean, that could potentially work.
You'll never prove it was me.
For fuck's sake. This is going to be so unhelpful for like the rest of the campaign. Like, I can't even...
I never want to leave it anywhere. Let's take it everywhere we go.
Corzin got it because he thought it might possibly be useful if you could get it to say the right things.
Good luck with that.
Lol, lol, lol. Right.
So, where should we leave the monkey and the parrot?
Could we lock them in a room at the Grimani's or something? Could Wisdom look after them? Is Wisdom good with that sort of shit?
Possibly. I mean, I feel better about leaving him actually in the company as somebody, but if we're not going to do that, then we've got to leave him in a place that we're fairly certain they're not going to escape.
I mean, we can see what they say.
Okay. Are you going to head back into the Grimani's and attempt
Deposit
to
the animals?
offload your two new companions?
I think maybe we should.
I think
That's
we
my
have
instinct.
to.
Just as a matter of course, actually, if we're going to the Grimani's, are we not passing by the halfling gang's territory?
Oh yes, I could buy some opium.
You don't have to. I mean, the direct route won't take you past the into the Warrens, but you could detour into there easily enough.
Maybe an
Yeah.
idea?
I mean, two birds with one stone.
Quite.
You know.
We
One
don't
meaning
wanna
we're
start
getting
any
rid of the
fights.
parrot. Two meaning we're, two birds. It's funny. No, never mind.
I got it.
Thank you. Maybe I like this parrot. Maybe I've changed my mind.
The feeling isn't mutual.
Let's drop the animals off before we go and talk to the drug dealers. Would be my suggestion.
Probably a wise thing.
Yeah,
Corzin reaches up and idly strokes the parrot.
Make an animal handling check.
Oh,
Okay.
you're going to lose a finger.
He's so losing a finger.
16. No, I'm not.
Ooh.
The parrot kind of tilts its head and very haughtily allows you to stroke it.
Okay. So, strokey.
To the left.
This parrot seems unusually,
Sentient.
we're going to look into this. I had a feeling about this parrot when I bought it, and that feeling hadn't gone away.
If I was having the sort of feeling about the parrot that I'm having currently, I definitely wouldn't have bought it. Also, it's fucking bigger than you. Bite your face off. Gotta watch out.
How big actually is this parrot relative to
fucking
Corzin?
It is 1 foot tall, so it is.
Jesus.
Does that include the tail? Because the tails add a lot of length and sort of size to them.
That's
I
the
mean,
point.
yeah, it's more like 1.5 foot if you allow for the tail. But yeah, it's. I'm going to say roundly, it's about the main amount of its body. So it's it's about a foot in total. So I'm going to say that the main amount of it looks like it adds maybe a third. It's like around maybe a third of Corzin's height.
Corzin strokes goes, it's not much different to having little Corzin on my back.
Aww.
Oh.
Well, now you've made it cute and I can't make fun of you. That's not fair. So...
Goes better luck next time.
So we drop off the parrot and the monkey. Then we go and buy some drugs. Then we go and steal the rich man's papers.
Sounds like a plan.
Good
Sounds
day
like
out.
such a good day. Let's do this.
I hardly have any spells, just so you know. Let's not get into a fight.
Good to know. I've got a few. So we're not fucked completely. But there's no reason we should get into a fight. No, that's not a thing you can
Don't
say
say
in
things
D&D.
like that.
No! Shut up!
Why would you say that?
I didn't mean it. I'm taking it back. It didn't happen. Ignore it. Let's go and drop off the animals.
You have been paying attention as to what's been happening over the last couple of days, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
Just out of character, I don't think Corzin has any spell slots used up as of today.
Awesome.
Cool.
So,
I
yeah.
use so many getting away from all those guards.
God, yeah, of course.
Oh,
Is it still snowing?
it is. There's a continuous light
Wow.
snow.
Is there snow on the ground?
There's a thin layer of snow. Like maybe an inch, if
Okay.
that.
As we're walking. So, what's this shit that people say about snow where you can, like, build people out of it?
It needs to have fallen a little bit thicker than it currently has, but yeah, you know, you can make little sculptures of it, or you can like lie down and draw shapes in it.
So what, you
sort of
can,
good
like,
stuff.
build people and draw in rain? Like, it's basically like rain, but cold, right?
Well, have you
Sort
never
of.
seen like an ice sculpture?
Have I seen an ice sculpture, DM? Like, genuinely.
Roll me a d20.
Something that
7.
surely
7.
Yeah, so probably not.
You've heard. Well, you've certainly heard of them, and they've been and you've seen ice before, but not an ice sculpture. No, that it's just you. You've never been in a situation where there's been so much ice that people could make it into a sculpture.
Cool. No, I've not really seen ice sculptures. Not like cold in the Underdark.
suppose not. But yeah, you can. Generally, it's just more fun to pad it up into a ball and throw it at each other, though.
I'm going to make a snowball and throw it at Corzin.
Make an attack roll.
Immediately. Like, as soon as this is suggested. It's really good. What's the attack on a snowball? So, 19?
Call it a dex attack. Yeah, that
Dex,
hits.
okay.
Yeah,
I say what, like this? And just throw a snowball in his
yeah,
face.
you get a
Straight in the
snowball
face.
right in the face.
Oh, you cheeky mare! All right, and he bends down and grabs up another snowball and throws it right back at her.
I'm going to run.
Make an attack
I'm going to
roll.
run away.
Oh, that's nope, that's 9.
Okay, no, it sails past her and smacks into a nearby
I
window.
imagine I've upset the parrots quite significantly here. He goes, all right, come on.
Leave no insult unavenged!
And I bend down and I pick up another one.
I go, you can't get me, fuckers. I'm invincible, and throw one at Scamp. For a 20, which I definitely hit.
Yeah.
Definitely
Yay.
hits.
Yeah,
I
you-
just take it.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh no.
I attempt to throw another one at Celestia.
okay, yeah. Make another attack roll.
Natural 1, it just
Wait.
sort of puffs out of my
Halfling.
hand because there's
You're
not
a
enough.
halfling.
Yeah. It's you actually throw it.
Oh, you are a
You-
halfling.
You are a halfling.
You don't get ones.
Oh yeah, true.
Well done, Robbie.
I will invoke the lucky feat then.
Hey.
Hey!
That's not much better. That's an 11.
Yeah, you throw it, but it just sort of smacks the bottom of her boot. Doesn't really get her.
I'm out of practice.
Time will come.
Well, now it's just creepy.
Yeah.
Right, come on, let's go drop these animals off.
Okay. You make your way back to the Grimani household. Corzin, can you roll me a luck check, please?
Certainly,
Shit,
just
why?
straight D20.
Yep, straight D20. This is actually weirdly the one. You're probably the only class the only race that can re-roll a 1 when I ask for just a straight luck check.
2.
Hey.
Okay, you get into you make your way in, and you can see as you make your way through the false front of the warehouses, getting into the centre of the enclosed green space that the Lilith is actually out, the plump green-skinned tiefling. She's taking care. She's brushing little bits of snow off some of the plants and just cracking a very just checking to see whether there's any ice forming on top of the koi pond and similar. Just helping to take care of things. Justice is there as well. He is sweeping up a couple of leaves that have fallen, and he seems to stare at you for a moment, Corzin, as if he's seen a ghost, before shaking his head. It is good to see the 3 of you. I trust all is going well.
Can I roll insight to see if I notice anything?
Yes.
Or do I just notice?
You can roll an insight check.
Yeah, do I notice this?
Yes, you can roll an insight check.
Oh, I totally do.
Now I feel weird asking. Can I roll one too?
Yeah.
13.
17.
Lots. Where's my modifier gone?
How lots?
Insight. 19. Not lots.
Okay, Celestia and Scamp, you see that at the moment of shock, Justice's eyes flicked to the parrot for a moment before going back to before he just covers it quickly.
Oh.
All right, Justice.
Yes, it is always an interesting time when it begins to snow.
You look like you'd seen a ghost for a second there.
No, not possible. But I understand that you have been successful thus far.
Yes, we think they're all gone.
Good. I am glad to hear it.
You and me both.
Yeah.
And I understand you have been helping out my son as well.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
That'd be right.
We done a crime.
We did done a crime, yes.
Try to make sure he doesn't get into too much trouble.
I'm not sure whether people to help with that.
I
think he gets into quite enough trouble on his own merits.
I see that you have picked up some interesting new companions there.
Yeah,
you like parrots?
You wouldn't happen to have any seeds, would you?
I think I can rustle something up.
What do monkeys eat?
Can I do a nature check?
A nature check, yeah, roll a nature check.
I so wouldn't know that I'm not going to.
Yeah.
That is...
I mean, I do know it, but Scamp doesn't.
Yeah.
Dirty 20.
I mean, I know, but Celestia doesn't.
Okay, dirty 20. Robbie, what do monkeys eat?
It depends on the species, but mostly fruit, nuts. They're scavengers.
Okay, pretty much what I was expecting. Yep, good. Just checking.
I mean, they will eat meat if they can get it.
Yeah.
Like a chimp will tear another chimp apart, but those are apes. They're bigger, little monkeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corzin, from what you've seen a monkey in a travelling menagerie before. And you saw them being fed, and it was nuts, fruit, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you want any walnuts or watermelon or something like that? They don't eat that very much, but
I've got sweets.
Perhaps not this sweet. I have some pecans left over. Perhaps it would be interested in those.
Probably not good for its teeth.
No.
Or yours, for that matter.
Perhaps I think certainly Wisdom would be interested in meeting this monkey. Perhaps as long as it does not bite too much.
Hasn't yet. Snap.
One moment. He goes into the house and comes back a few moments later wearing a thick oven glove that goes up to his to his forearm, extends it out towards Corzin. I will. If you want to leave that one with me, he says, looking to the parrot.
All right. Is there a good place to put it? I don't want to be too much bother, but...
Oh no, this one will not leave anytime soon. Long time.
Was that...
The parrot hops over onto Wisdom's kind of cloth gauntleted forearm.
Was that
Sorry,
parrot just
Justices.
imitating him?
It's hard to tell.
Okay.
He's the parrot and him seem to be staring daggers at each other. Still, I hope you're. We shall be happy to look out. Keep an eye on these at least until you come back.
The monkey's called Jeffrey.
Can you roll an animal handling check for him? Hello, Jeffrey. The monkey tries to bite him.
Jeffrey, no! No, Jeffrey!
Oh, the
just
DM
mouths.
making monkey noises is a good thing.
Corzin just mouths, Jeffrey. Alright.
It's a type of monkey.
Is it?
There is a tamarind, I think, that's a Jeffrey.
Oh.
Or maybe it's one of the Latin names. It was something I remember reading and going, Jeffrey monkey.
That's adorable.
That is brilliant.
Okay, this is fucking weird. Let's go.
Yes, we're watching Scamp just making monkey noises at this actual monkey who is hopping around cheerfully.
Is that a sorcerer thing? Do you actually speak monkey, or is just...
No!
Great! Right, let's go buy some drugs. I think I need them.
Okay. You leave the... as you leave, you're closing the door behind you, you just hear as Justice is walking away with the cautiously kind of like trying to herd the monkey about, like sort of Lilith is now trying to herd this monkey around and stop it from freaking out too much, and you just hear as Justice is leaving, your past will always come to haunt you.
Shit.
Corzin sort of face palms slightly.
Good purchase there, Corzin.
Well, there's still possibly some use for that. It does seem to be a little bit random at the moment, but
Yeah, make a
Parrots-
good dinner, that's for sure.
parrots live for a long time. They could have heard something important.
Or a lot of nonsense.
A lot of shit, yeah.
Well, time will tell.
Yes, it will, indeed.
Okay, so you head on towards the Warrens. This maze of switchback streets and somewhat overbuilt properties. Well, you've traversed it quite a lot, but you actually have to get a fair bit into the back streets before you find the two-storey kind of form of the McDougal Brewery. Essentially a sort of squat rectangular building. It has partly inset into the roof, so about 2/3 of it continues up to a second story, and you can see that there is quite a wide chimney at the top from which is outpouring just continuous roll of steam. Seems that the brewery is just functioning. It's the day, it makes sense. Carrying on producing beers of various types for the local bars. There is a stables out back for the dray horses that cart the various barrels, kegs, and hogsheads of alcohol that the brewery produces, and a pair of double doors at the front. You can see that one of them is open, and although there are some doors, there is multiple, you can see there's a short corridor inside leading to a few other doors, although there's also a pair of doors open there, and you can just hear a few mutters of conversation and the sounds of ceramics being placed on tables. It seems like many breweries, there is a small bar or tap room attached to it.
An adjunct bar.
There are two entrances to the building. One is a big pair of double doors. It's actually a single sliding door at the back where the stables are attached. And of course there are the front doors as well. There are windows, but they're all on the second story, on 2/3 of it, and there are some barred windows on some of the rooms on the first floor.
Okay. I'm going to turn to the other two. I mean, we're not really doing, espionage now, are we? We just wanted to check the place out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
if I
maybe
just
have a-
ask somebody if there's anywhere I could buy some opium, that might
Sure.
get us in to have a look.
Yeah,
Might be
we could go sit in the bar. If there's a bar, just listen.
Might be at least polite to go in there and order a drink first.
Yeah, absolutely, that's fine.
Shall we go have a drink and a listen and a chat with people, and you try and find some drugs?
That sounds
See
good.
what we can find.
Yeah. Let's start in the bar. That's always a good place to start, isn't it?
All right then. So you head to the bar, and you do find that there is within a traditional bar just straight across the. Actually, as you enter in, there's a corridor. It's short, and there are two single doors off to the left, one single door up ahead, all of which are closed, and an open pair of double doors to the right. Looking in, you can see that there are three long tables with benches spaced around the room, all of convenient. You can see that the middle one is actually slightly taller, while the twos to either side are a little shorter, accommodating for human and halfling clientele respectively. The bar stools seem to be in a sort of halfway house position next to the bar, but you can see that you would guess, based on the height of the bar and the bar woman behind it, that there is that there is some sort of little step ladder or similar approach to allow them to see comfortably over the top of the bar and serve drinks, because on this particular occasion it is a halfling who is serving. The barwoman is a average height, so 3'2" thereabouts, halfling woman. She has frizzy, bright red hair of when I say red, I mean proper ginger sort of hair, tied back into vaguely half tamed into a bun. She's got freckles, quite pale skin. Is wearing a checkered shirt rolled up to the sleeves, and is currently polishing some glassware as you come in. There are sat in the bar at this time 4 others as well, and there is a clear familial resemblance between them. All of them are red-headed, all of them have freckles. From the looks of them, 2 of them it looks like, 2 of them are male, 2 of them are female. all looking to be either brothers and sisters or cousins, all halflings.
It's the fucking halfling Weasleys.
Yep.
Sorry, I had to let that out for a second.
Yeah.
And they're all having drinks with each other, dressed similarly in kind of workers' clothing. And as you enter, the four of them, their conversation halts. Sort of. Anyway, the thing you've got to do is you got to take them, and you got to. And they all look up at you, look over to the bar, and then continue the conversation a little bit more hushly. You've got to take them by the balls, and you've got to squeeze it just right. So, at this point, the bar woman calls out to you. Hello there! What will you be having?
3 ales, please.
Right. I'll have you know, we don't do ale here. We do beer. So if you're having a beer, I'll be happy to do you a beer.
Okay.
That'd be very nice, thank you.
She's speaking in a quite a thick Jovan dialect, almost on the border of one of the halfling dialects. But she does turn around, and you can see there one of the barrels behind her is tapped, and she does you 3 pints of beer, which she sets down at the bar. That'll be 3 coppers.
Sure, I pay. Fuck it.
Takes slides them into a cash box. Right, you might want to try that one, especially decanter today.
Right. Thank you, says Celestia, having no idea what she just said.
Corzin, seeing this, whispers, so, she said it was specially decanted today.
Right, thank you.
Oh.
So you seem like you know the area. I'm a little bit...
I can see that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit new in town, and I was wondering if you knew where I could get hold of some opium. Out of character for a second, opium is legal, right? It's super legal.
Halfling is... Opium is legal. Opium without a license is illegal.
Opium is legal, so I'm not asking anything illegal.
Yeah.
Is red leaf legal?
Yeah. That's a good question. Roll me a history check.
Anyone?
You don't know what she's going to ask, so...
Fuck. That's like a 9.
You're not sure.
Okay,
Is the
right.
answer on that
I'll
one.
bear that in mind.
Right. Well, I was looking for opium. I'm afraid you'll have to go a bit further down the street. If you want to find a licensed den, you might be able to have better chance than the glasswater.
Right, thank you, says Celestia, again having no idea what she just said. Too posh to talk halfling.
Corzin just sort of pinches the bridge of his nose and says, try in the glass water.
Right. Not very helpful to us then.
Kind of
So
gives
very
you
quietly.
a sidelong look. Then says to you, Corzin. Hey, this man's not with your watch, is he?
Like I said, he's new around here, and Corzin is actually going to drop into
I
his
smile
own
at her.
dialect. And he said, I don't mean mind yours, he's just a person who's coming here new.
Aye. Well, she's over at the cheap stuff. We can get her started with that, but, you know, we just don't want to make sure she's not with us watching, you know?
No, you don't want to be worried about that. She's perfectly new, just give her what you want, and it's all grand.
Aye. Well, you want to be talking about my brother over there. That'll be Tommy will be the one who can help you with that. And she nods to one of the 4 halflings.
Right. I just think I managed to secure you a lucrative deal.
Those 4 words. What?
He just
That was
grins
very
at her.
fast. That's not. Was that another language? I'm not.
It takes a
Scamp, did you get any of that?
it takes a long
Every
time
word.
to say. It takes a
No.
long time to say something in halfling, so you got to speak fast.
Right. Okay. Fair
Lots of
enough.
compound words, you see.
Yeah. I heard sounds.
I'll give you a crash course
What
later.
am I supposed to be doing?
One
There's
of
a
the
lad over there
4,
by the name of Tommy.
halflings has gotten up from the table, was kind of striding over to you, and you can see that And he sort of idly kind of puts his hands on his hips so that the shirt he's wearing is pressed to the side, and you can just make out, hidden at his hip, previously covered by the kind of loose shirt, is the outline of a pistol. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of making... So, he's clearly armed, so he goes, "So, I understand you're looking for a little bit of cut price.
I mean, if you have it.
Why don't you come into my sister's office? I'll see what I can do for you."
Of course, thank you.
Gives a nod to the others. And escorts you into the corridor beyond and through one of the two doors opposite, the ones that are closed. Mm-hmm. Beyond, you find there is an office with barred windows and a halfling-sized desk with attached chair. The chair and desk are currently unoccupied. Rather than sitting in the chair, he hops up onto the desk and takes a seat there. And you can see that there are several filing cabinets along one wall as well. Close the door behind you, would you?
Of course, I close it.
Name's Tommy. You'll be dealing with me.
Celestia Stardust, nice to meet you.
Takes your hand, gives it a quick shake.
Hand.
So, how much are you looking for?
Not a lot. Some for personal consumption, maybe like 5 to 10 doses, depending on the price.
That's
not a
no
huge
problem.
order.
If you're looking for 5 to 10, let's call that 10 to 20. You got the crowns on you?
Yes?
Alright, how much do you want? 5 or 10?
10. Why not?
Alright. He takes a key from a little necklace around his neck, which you hadn't noticed. Reaches round, unlocks one of the drawers on the desk, and pulls out one of those paper-wrapped bricks you've seen before. Draws a knife from out of his boot, seems to kind of measure it by eye, slices off an appropriate amount of the brick of opium, and a little bit of the paper, wraps the opium up in the paper, holds it out another...
Give him the money.
Takes the money, hands you the opium. Pleasure doing business with you.
Just as a matter of curiosity, I'm pretty new on the surface. There's a lot of things I haven't tried. I heard about a thing called red leaf. I don't suppose you'd know anything about that.
Make a persuasion check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good. 27. Ha!
Oh!
Well, between you and me, I'm not sure if you'd appreciate this being from down below and all, but red leaf's kind of a restricted substance around these parts. Of course, they're bringing
I'm
it
sorry,
in
forgive
from...
my ignorance.
That's all right. They're bringing it in from the colonies. That's... I'm not saying it's not impossible, I appreciate people who enjoy a good party. Certainly, know my own family enjoys it, but...
it's doing nobody any harm, so it's just a bit of fun.
Well, so long as you keep it in the right amounts, eh? Let's see, I could do... Now, I'm afraid I don't have any of the refined stuff available, all of that spoken for, but if you're looking for just some of the leaf to chew on, that's something I could sort you out with. I've got a few doses of that I could slip your way, but I'm afraid that stuff's a little bit more pricey.
Like how pricey, just out of interest?
Oh, we're talking more along the lines of 10 crown a dose.
Bloody hell, that is expensive.
So
the powder's cheaper, is it?
No, the powder's more expensive because there's you've got to see a chemist to get that stuff refined.
Goodness, I mean, what is this going to do to me for that kind of money?
Well, I tried it once myself, and I'm not going to say there isn't a bit of a rush. There's quite a rush. In fact, rushing's kind of the thing. The nice thing about it is, if you're a bit tired out, if you've had a long day, then for a short while, it takes all that tiredness away. You'll find that you're a little bit quicker on your feet, Maybe you can move a little faster than you were expecting. There's the powder is quite a lot bit more concentrated, but it's got more of a kick afterwards. If you take my warning, take care not to do too much of it in the same day. After you've had when you're coming down from this stuff, you want to give yourself a wee nap.
Right. I'll buy one for curiosity's sake. Trying new things.
Reaches into a different drawer.
Oh, this is a bad decision, guys.
Make a perception check. Anyone who wants to.
Okay.
Well, we're not there, are we?
Oh, I thought
no, you're all three of you in there.
Oh, I thought it was just me who'd been taken to a side room.
Up to you. I assume he brought... I'd intended for him to bring all three of you in.
I was just being
I
quiet.
assumed we were staying
Okay, cool.
I will be there. But
yeah.
Cool. Are you there, Scamp, or not?
It seems weird that I wouldn't be this.
Yeah.
I'd assumed we'd stay in the bar. I was going to stay and listen to what people were
Okay,
I guess you stay
if
there
you're staying
then.
and having your drink, then it's just
Yeah.
Corzin and Scamping.
So that's a 19 on the inside.
Shit. It's a 9 for me.
Perception, not insight.
Oh, perception. In which case, that's a 21.
Okay, you see that when he takes out the different key, before inserting it into a different drawer, he carefully pushes on a small part of otherwise ordinary wood paneling on part of the desk before he opens it. He withdraws a small piece of butcher's paper, unwraps it, and you can see pressed into it is a small wedge of dull reddish leaves into almost like a little wafer. Like I said, that'll be 10.
I give him 10.
Thank you. And he passes you the grip.
So I chew this, yeah?
You chew that, and it's got a bit of a kick. So mechanically, first of all, the addiction DC on this is 15.
Okay.
Not 10.
Oh, my con's bad.
So, yeah. So,
God, I'm a fucking idiot.
yep.
You know, you're a rock star.
Yeah, that's basically
Yeah.
rock and roll idiot.
So, the effects of this last for 10 minutes in this version of it. The powder will last less, but has a more pronounced effect. It suspends the effects of any exhaustion levels you have during those 10 minutes. Takes an action to consume. And afterwards, you gain a level of exhaustion as they come down.
Okay.
While it's up, your speed is increased by 10 feet per round. And you may take one extra bonus action per round.
It's fantasy Coke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
cocaine.
it's basically
basically
fantasy coca leaves, as it were, rather than fantasy. It's
the powder's cocaine.
not yet processed into fantasy crack. But let's be blunt here. Yes, it's totally fantasy coke.
Yeah. Excellent. Right.
You're a wonderful person, Jason.
Yep, and this one has some pretty nasty. This one has some pretty nasty withdrawal effects, which you don't know anything about.
Lol.
Has Corzin seen this before?
Make a medicine check.
Medicine. Oh god, yeah, because this might be like an anesthetic or something. Natural 20.
Okay, yeah. So you know the full effects of this stuff. You've heard that it can. You've heard tales from a few ports you've been in that someone has figured out how to process the stuff into a powder, which makes it even more effective. Shorter burn, but brighter flame, as it were. Regardless, this stuff is pretty fucking addictive, and if you've had enough of it, and there's been time for the withdrawal to build up, lethargy is the main initial effect, whereas Whereas overuse of opium is likely to cause you having trouble sleeping and resting, the withdrawal effects on this are going to cause you to become sluggish, slower to act, more reliant on having it to act effectively.
Right. Okay.
So mechanically, increasing over time, speed loss, possibly loss of bonus actions.
Oh dear.
And other effects as it gets worse.
So horrendous.
That is awful.
Let's make bad
at
decisions.
At the higher levels, it creates exhaustion levels that you can't get, that you cannot sleep off until your addiction level reduces.
Bloody hell.
Okay.
Oh, bloody hell. That's a good way to die.
Yeah. I mean, like, you can sleep up, like, you know, it won't continuously take you down until 6, which is death, but rather it sets your minimum exhaustion when you get past the early stages of withdrawal.
So you can be like stuck at 2.
So you can be
sort of
stuck
thing.
at 1, stuck at 2.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Corzin will say, I heard there was a dentist in Seoul who used this for his patients. Did a roaring trade, but unfortunately ended up being shut down because he was his own best customer.
You have one thing you actually would have heard with that natural 20 is when it was initially discovered in Sunder, it was consumed a fair amount by the local lizard people. The church attempted to get rid of it initially, but the problem is that having pressed those little lizard folk into slavery to work the mines, they all seem to run out of energy once the red leaf rations stopped. So there may be. So although it's banned here, out in the colonies, it has certainly been used to keep mines and plantations going, to give their workers energy in a somewhat, well, let's be frank, blatantly unethical fashion. But, you know, there's also the slavery to consider. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that.
So,
I mean, if
yes.
that's the thing that tips you over the edge, maybe reevaluate your life.
So, you pocket the cake of red leaf.
Exciting.
All right.
Well, I've got to say, always appreciating someone who's willing to have a good party.
Yeah. If you know anywhere, good party sort of district around here, let me know.
Well, up
Sam,
until
you're in
recently, we used to. I'd heard some good things about the Silken Sail, but that place shut down.
Oh yeah, fuck that place. Sounds terrible.
We don't
Staffing
think
problems, or so I heard.
Could see that. I mean, looks you up and down.
I smile.
Do you like tea? I'm just wondering. Oh, maybe stick around. There's three of you. Oh, sorry, the pair of you can't help but notice that big old blunderbuss on your back there.
Corzin sort of reflexively grabs the strap of it. Yeah.
See
What
a lot
about
of
it?
use? See a lot
Fair
of
amount.
use?
Fair amount.
Okay. I'm wondering, maybe you'd be interested in doing a little work in exchange for maybe a little bit more of this. Or, just cold hard
Potentially.
cash, either works. Got plenty of the opium and, well, certainly I can lay my hands on more red leaf.
Yeah, I mean, depends what it is.
Could use a few extra hands to help us get some things out of the city. Quite like, see? We might see a little bit of resistance. And if you knows how it is, keep your mouth shut, your eyes open. Could be a nice fat bonus in it for you. As long as you don't mind transporting some stuff without asking too many questions.
We're known for our subtlety.
I've never asked too many questions in my entire life.
Alright, well, if you're interested, come back tonight, call at dusk. Maybe my sister will have a word or two for you.
What's your name?
Tommy McDougal.
And your sister?
She's Morag, head of the family.
Okay, good to know. No, just so that we're aware who we're working for.
Yeah. No, we're in charge around these parts. I'm sure if you ask around, you'll hear that. And goes without saying, but don't you be blabbing about this. Or we'll have to cut your tits off and feed them to the dogs.
I wouldn't dare, darling, don't worry.
Quite alright. Well, you enjoy that opium?
Thank you. Might see you later.
Indeed. Gives you a nod.
I give him one back.
Okay.
We leave.
We go. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Scamp, you've been drinking and without any effect, really, apart from an increasing need to pee, and listening in. Give me a perception check, please.
12.
Okay. You catch the gist of what's going on. The three halflings that are still at the bar are talking, still at the tables, are talking to each other, but they're keeping their voices low. They're making sure not to talk too openly. It sounds like they're having quite almost a subdued argument. Like there's the two girls seem to be taking issue with a proposition that the boy, the male halfling, is pushing. There's some sort of delivery they're looking to make, or something that they're trying to move, and it sounds like it's some sort of very hot property, quite a lot of it, but something that's going to get them in big trouble. Particularly if they're found out. It seems, and there's a lot of talk about trying to get it all shifted that night. But yes, that seems to be the limit of what you can find out. Specific details and times, no, you're only really able to work out the general gist of what they're saying.
Okay.
By this point, Celestia and Corzin both exit the office.
Okay, should we get going for now?
Yeah.
Right, I guess we go. If everyone's happy with that.
Don't say anything until we're outside. But
Okay.
once we are a good distance away from
Couple of streets away, yeah.
Yeah. I say there is an absolutely 100% chance that what he's going to ask us to do is illegal. But that does provide us with an opportunity if we're smart.
I mean, if we are literally going to the edge of the city with them, I'm sure we could get her on our own.
That's true, but if what they're doing is
Oh
illegal,
yeah, I relay what happened to Scamp. Obviously, I'm not going to say it all because you've just listened.
The
But
other way
like,
around.
yeah,
Yeah.
Exchange information.
yeah.
If what they're doing is illegal, we can just give the authorities the tip off and scarp her once they're caught in the act.
She didn't want the trash to take itself out. Do you remember? She said that they're working on something big, and she didn't want the authorities to take them in because then other questions would arise. Do you remember? Am I out of character? Am I going mad?
You're remembering that correctly. They did
swear
not
that
want the authorities involved.
Yeah, because we suggested that first off that we get the police on them, but
All right. Well, in which case then, we got
There's 7 of them, isn't there?
yes.
There's
We've
no
gotta
guarantee
bring
they'll
her
all be
in.
there. In fact, I would be surprised if they all were.
We've got to try and get her on our own and nab her, really, haven't we? I mean, there'd be a hell of a price on our heads if we do it. They'll know it was
Still got
us.
to get rid of the rest of them, though.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a certain amount of money per McDougal. They did say it was okay to just bring her in and leave her at the safe house.
Okay.
Didn't they? Again,
Well,
out of
we
character,
They
am I
did,
going
yes.
mad? Yes, they did.
said like
So we
the
can
priority was Morag.
So we can just take her and take her to the safe house. We don't even have to kill her or anything.
Yeah. Just to remind you, what was offered was 25 gold per McDougal, 50 for Morag, 200 brought back alive to the safe house.
Right.
Mm.
The fact that they want her alive suggests that they want to teach her a lesson.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be our job, would it?
Probably not. But
we've just got to nick her, really.
Yeah.
What if? They said meet at that place, didn't they? What if we weren't to join them on the work? What if we just tailed them and then waited for her to, be a little bit out of sight and just nicked her?
Could do. It depends what they're doing.
Moving something dangerous or very illegal or something, I think they said.
Probably
a lot of
both,
drugs, I
knowing
imagine.
them. Drugs can be dangerous and sometimes they can be illegal, but the way they were talking about it made me think that what we were dealing with there was something that was definitely both.
Should we stop it then?
I don't really give a shit.
Ordinarily, I wouldn't really.
We don't know what it is. It's a nice idea, but what does it matter what weird illegal stuff they're doing?
Ordinarily I wouldn't concern myself too much with the ins and outs of the locals, but...
they're just drug lords, aren't they? I know it's a bit grim, but...
Well, we don't know. It's something they think's dangerous. That could
More
mean it's
illegal.
something-
They never said dangerous.
I heard dangerous.
What are they moving that's dangerous?
I don't think we're vigilantes, are we? We stopped everyone being murdered by shadows, but...
Yeah, that was more or less in our best interests, though.
Yeah, and it was
I
sort of
just-
our fault in the first place.
What if it's something along the same lines? What if they don't know what they're doing?
I doubt
Just a
that.
bit
They were...
paranoid at the moment.
I know, I get it, but shadow eggs were hundreds of years ago, and nobody knew why there was one left. It's probably one that Olga just saved for fucking hundreds of years because she has so much fucking time on her hands, clearly.
I don't know if we'd be any good at tailing them. Stealth is not usually our best.
No, you have
We've
a
got
point.
new stuff, but
Well, let's deal with this Savat fellow and we can come back to this.
Yes, let's see how we feel later. We can mull on it over the afternoon.
we'll need a nap if we're gonna go.
True, at least a small one.
Okay.
Preferably a big one, really, for you.
Are you looking to take the nap before you go to Savat or after?
What time is it now?
It's probably about 9 in the morning. Maybe 9:30.
After.
Let's do Savat first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You head back up towards the Silken Goose. Now,
Put my hood up.
now divested of your animals.
Oh, can I say I got changed into my second outfit at the Grimani's, by the way, because I meant to, but I
So is this your flashy...
the super
flashy
flashy
white
one.
one.
Yeah,
Got
yeah,
it.
yeah. Because we're going to a posh place,
Okay.
and I would have done. But I
Yeah,
forgot.
you're in full Celestia, disadvantage to stealth checks.
Yep,
The codpiece is ablaze.
it is always.
You do not pass any Ebon Guard during your journey.
Right, good.
And make your way back to the Silken Goose. Stepping into the hotel, you can see that there is a reception area. The interior is beautifully inlaid with pink and white stone. Maybe marble, maybe possibly some cheaper stone, but really polished up. Hard to tell. But there's certainly a lot of very polished brass inlays and candelabras and stuff around. And you can see that there is sat at the desk a fat male halfling with a pencil moustache and a massive black comb over.
Wow.
Hello, welcome to the Silken Goose.
Hello.
Hello.
We're possibly looking for a drink, maybe some lunch, that kind of thing.
Then you will be wanting to go to the attached bar and restaurant. And he gestures dramatically off to one side, and you can see that there is a wine bar that is part of the lower floor of this hotel, and there are actually a number of humans and halflings currently clustered in it. Looking at the shape of them, probably still drinking from last night rather than starting
Wow,
early.
at 9 a.m. Jesus.
Yeah, this is the hard partying lot. A few of them are just straight passed out on the couches.
That's impressive. Like,
Wow.
nice.
But you can also see that coffee has been brought out as well, so they seem to be mixing, just going between alcohol and coffee
Oh wow,
in a
they're
very
massively.
in a very concerted all-nighter. You can actually see that some of them have reams of paper next to them and have been taking notes and just jotting, and there's like scratched out pages and such. It's like, looking at this, you get the feeling that these are writers.
Oh,
Fucking
Capital
writers.
W.
Writers and students.
The worst.
no.
The worst kinds of people.
Ah, yes, that is Monsieur Savat's crowd of admirers.
Seems like a popular fellow.
Monsieur Savat's here. Goodness, I've heard of him. Do you know where he is? I'd love to talk to him.
Yes, he is right there in the middle. And he points, and you can see at the centre of this crowd of various writers and students and alcoholics and coffee drinkers, which are pretty much all the same people. There is a plump, middle-aged halfling with touzled grey-black hair. He looks, and yeah, he's actually got smile lines just at the corners of his eyes, and he seems to be engaged in conversation with several of the younger men and women around him, currently sipping at a big old glass of port.
How drunk does he look?
Make an insight check.
I'm going to make an insight check as well.
Yeah, me too, if that's all right.
21.
Fairly, like, you get the feeling that he's drunk a lot, but he can hold a lot.
Right.
So not completely sozzled, but, you know, he's clearly been going for a while. He's one of those old, you know, cast iron liver types.
Like, I'd be willing to
Doesn't
bet
look
half
like
that
it'd be
porch is
easier to
liver.
steal from him. Yeah. Could we just pick his pocket then?
Yeah, I assumes he'd have it on him.
I'm assuming, by the way, we've gone into the bar
Yeah.
and sat down somewhere.
So,
now.
okay,
Yes,
no.
we're still
In which
there.
case, as you go in and sit down, you can just see that you're actually able to catch just a little bit of what he's saying to his companions. And no, if you pass me the port is good. But no, I oppose to you, my friends. One of the great mistakes our people make is that we believe we serve the king, when in truth it is the king who must serve. And there's a great deal from the various halflings and humans around him. Oh, what? There's nonsense. There's general scoffing. No. Consider. The great nations we live in, whether they be my homeland of Seoul or this great land of Brighthall, expect that we should follow their laws and ordinances, and indeed we must, for moral obligation, more than fear of punishment. But that same moral obligation entails that our states must provide in turn for their people. If we are to follow our society's laws, then our society has a moral duty to provide for our basic needs. Food, shelter, security, justice. But have they? The poor starve in Seoul. Bread in the cities has risen to 3.5 copper pence per quartern loaf. 3.5! Nearly all of a common labourer's wage, just to eat for a day. Even in Wending, Brighthall, the places I have travelled, where they have not had Seoul's misfortune in harvests, I found broken down housing and empty streets, places where men and women are forced to live in squalid conditions to sustain themselves, driven out by the extortionate rents of their landlords. And security! What security do you find in the deserters, abandoning the army for brigandage when their masters cannot pay them? Justice? What justice can there be when punishments are dictated by your birth or wallet? When a common man hangs, whether rich or well-born might receive a slap on the wrist, provided they have sufficiently greased the judge's palm. Even for capital crimes, a common man can expect a cruel death upon the gallows or gibbet when compared to the nobleman's axe. I dream, my friends.
I dream of a land where man or woman, halfling or orc, rich or poor, people will stand as brothers, arms linked against their woes, equal in providence, opportunity and punishment alike. Where wealth or accident of birth will not stand in the path of the advancement of those of merit or character. Where a king is no more than the first magistrate of his people, as responsible to them and their needs as they to him. But I am in my cups, my friends, and such talk is not for idle mornings as these. He gestures to the maitre d'. Fill the glasses of these good brothers and sisters of mine, good sir. We shall have a round again. And the pencil-moustached halfling rolls his eyes a little, gets up and starts filling up wine glasses and coffee mugs, and actually, as if getting the feeling that Savat has been buying drinks for people for some time, actually sets out 3 glasses for the 3 of you, since you're in the room. There's
He is
wine
a
or coffee?
literal champagne socialist.
He is. Wine, please.
Pours out wine or coffee.
I turn to
depending on
the
your
other 2.
preference.
He's very good. He's a good liar.
How do you mean?
I mean that you could say that at pretty much any point in history and people would pat you on the back. He's very good.
Unless you say it to the wrong people and then they'll just chop your head off.
True, but I mean all that he's talking about is it's never going to happen, is it?
But he's got away with words. He makes them believe that maybe it might. And maybe they're very clever for thinking that it might.
I don't know. He's good. He's very good.
Do you think he has his papers on him?
That strikes me as a man who would keep his papers on him. Definitely.
Or shall we go looking for his room?
Well, we know he's not in his room, but...
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
I could ask friend to go and look at the guest book.
I don't think the checking everybody's papers idea is going to treat us very well, you know.
No.
I think
Not with
maybe
this crowd,
we might be
no.
better off having a good look in his room, and then if that doesn't work, maybe I don't know, I feel like he's the sort of person I could distract with bollocks.
Well, maybe if you start that now just to keep him here, and then we go have a look at his room while he's distracted.
That's not a bad idea.
Right? Fuck it.
If we can find out where his room is, shall I send friend to go look at, say if there's a book with a list of guests or anything?
Makes sense if no one can see them.
Okay,
Alright.
so do you two want to...
I'm happy to do that for you, friend.
Thank you, friend.
Oh, that's so weird, I'll never get used to it.
Can you roll me an investigation check, please, Scamp? For
Friend.
friend. Same modifier, I'm going to say.
Oh dear.
Scamp
Friend's
has...
not smarter than me.
Friend has the advantages of being invisible, but
That's a 5. I'm not very intelligent.
after the skull doesn't leave your pocket, but you get the sense that friend is kind of looking at a distance. And goes like, Well, I think it's under the desk. Unfortunately, I can't really get a good look at it from here. If you could smuggle my skull onto the shelves behind the receptionist, I could take a look. Unless you want me to just float on over there, but I think that might be a little easier for you to try and just plant me.
I can try. How busy is it?
It is.
What are my odds of stealthing?
It's the mid-morning. This place is like every now and again a guest comes down to check out, like once every 5 to 10 minutes, if that. It's not pressed. Or Savat will order more wine, and the maitre d' will have to get up and pour it.
So is there someone who's at the desk?
Yes, yeah. The maitre d' is the one sat at the desk.
Okay.
So I say to Corzin and Scamp, so shall I start talking to him then? I can probably keep him busy.
Well, give us a sec to find out where his room is first.
Okay.
In case we need you for that, maybe.
Of the 3 of us, you're probably the most likely to turn his head.
I think I could talk shit to him.
Yeah.
Okay.
We could try and distract the the person at the front desk for a sec, and I could try sneaking over there.
Okay.
Maybe minor illusion of voice calling them or something.
Nice.
Alright, what do you do?
Find all my spells.
Trying to think, what can I minor illusion? I've got minor illusion, like that's not a problem.
Just someone calling them over. Has anyone called them over that we could?
I'm gonna do a voice as though it's sort of from upstairs in one of the rooms, going, Maitre D, I have a problem.
Make a deception check.
Oh shit! That's a 1. That's a nat 1. Fuck.
Oh no.
Bollocks.
Oh dear.
The maitre d', who seem to be halfway in the middle of reading something, steps up, looks around for a moment, and then looks directly at you. Yes, what is it you require?
Oh, sorry. I thought...
Can I sneak away while that's happening?
I mean,
This particular wine, I thought it was a type that I'm allergic to, but actually I think it's okay in the end. I think we're all right. Very sensitive stomach, you know.
I see. He gives you a slightly suspicious glance and then sits back at his desk, this time not reading stuff and just sort of keeping an eye out.
I turn to Gordon and go, okay, maybe not my best piece of improvisation, but I panicked. I'm sorry.
Corzin just sort of looks at you and he shrugs but then indicates Savat again and starts slinking carefully away.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go over to Savat.
We don't know where his room
Oh,
is.
shall I wait? I'm going to wait.
While
gonna wait.
Celestia is kind of slinking over, Scamp, what are you doing?
Well, I needed a distraction to get the guy away from
okay.
the thing.
Corzin
I
is
can't
going to
just
go
go
up to
to the
the...
room number.
Corzin's going to go up to the maitre d' and sort of... Is the maitre d' a human?
No, he's a halfling.
Oh, okay, great. So he just starts engaging the maitre d' in conversation. So are all these fellows here part of Savat's entourage, or is this just people he's gathered?
No. They are, many of them are locals at the university. Others are journalists or writers. Savat is being invited to a special soiree tomorrow night at the university after he gives a speech. So he has attracted a lot of attention from people who want to come over and schmooze up to him, I suppose you could say.
Right,
He is noted for writing a lot of very influential pieces in newspapers. A bit of a rabble-rouser, if you ask me, but his coin is good.
As Corzin is talking to him, he's like behind his back, gesticulating to Scamp to go past him.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm going to stay by the bar, having been bad at distractions.
I'm going to put my hood up and try.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Okay.
I say to the maitre d', so how long's he been here?
21.
Nice.
21, nice. You slip right behind him.
And he's got a disadvantage on perception to spot me.
Okay, 21. That's true. Actually, he rolls the perception check. With disadvantage. If I can find my... Oh no, sorry, I'll just roll this twice. That's cocked. Good thing he had disadvantage to spot you, because one of those was a natural 19. The other one was a natural 1. He just seems absolutely engrossed in talking about this celebrity with Corzin.
Can I try flicking through the book while I'm there?
He actually picks the book up and puts it to one side, slightly out of his eye line, so that he can lean forwards.
I'm going to quickly scan through it and find what room.
Give me an investigation check. But yes, no, he has been here for the better part of 5
11.
days now. Fortunately, this guy's pretty distracted. He's like, fuck. Oh, it's all alphabetized. Okay, Savat. That's Z's. Nope, S.
Friend, help me! I'm not very good at reading.
This way. No. Next one over. Yes. Oh, there. 118.
there any keys inside?
Looking behind you, you can see that there is indeed a cubby holes full of keys. The one for number 118 is currently empty.
But is there a master key like the housekeeping would use?
Make a perception check.
Oh dear.
No, he's...
10. No, I don't see anything. That's a 10.
Okay, I'm going to say with a 10. You can see what looked like a ring of keys pressed into the back pocket right against the arse cheek of the maitre d'.
Oh dear.
Well, yes. Fortunately, he drinks like a fish, so...
No, let's walk away from that. Walk away from that.
Yeah, and he's got the gills to match.
I'm not a rogue.
Easy to forget sometimes.
Not a rogue. Not a rogue.
We've had rogues in the party before we started recording. Not on this campaign, different campaign.
Used to be like plus 12 or something.
Something mental, yeah. Like.
But yes, no. He is welcome to stay as long as he likes. If he. As long as he keeps ordering like this, it is entirely worth the trouble to continue emptying out our wine stores.
Well, there's nobody who can drink like a philosopher, I suppose.
Once many years ago, we had a dwarven philosopher come to us. We actually had to bring in new barrels, but these are for another time. In fact, why don't I regale you with that particular story? It starts.
I would be delighted.
Okay, I'm going to try and make my way upstairs.
Okay, is this?
Yeah. So while this is happening,
do I see Scamp going upstairs?
Yeah, you can probably see Scamp.
Okay, I'm going to go over to Savat immediately.
Yeah. So Corzin, your ear is talked off for some time.
Okay. I'm going to roll an endurance check.
Give me at your. Good.
What?
Give me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom saving throw, okay. That is a 14.
You feel like you're feeble-minded, but you're not. It's just incredibly dull. You don't suffer any ill effects from intense boredom.
Okay.
And manage to keep up the pretense of being interested. So,
Okay.
while Scamp is heading upstairs, Celestia.
I'm going to go over to Savat, obviously.
Ah.
Hello, mind if I join you? What you were saying was quite interesting.
Oh, it's always nice to hear someone of interest. He kind of blearily looks you up and down for a moment. Especially, usually my words don't go so well with those of your social status, shall we say.
I mean...
Would you care for a drink?
Alright then.
He pours you a stiff port.
Okay.
So, while you're having this conversation...
No, I'm not done.
No. Okay.
I'm going to say to him, so, I couldn't help but notice that most of what you were saying was basically bollocks.
Yeah.
I mean, you could say that at pretty much any point in history and people will nod and smile, but it's never going to happen, is it?
So, you're questioning the conviction of my beliefs.
Yeah, I think it's a load of frilly words. I don't think it means anything.
All right then. He fills up his glass as well. Let's have a drink and talk about it.
Yeah, convince me.
Okay. He raises his glass, take with yours.
Cheers.
Takes a sip. Make a constitution save.
Oh shit, what's in it?
No, this is... You take a sip of this and realise, oh fuck, this is dwarven port.
Oh, 12.
Okay. I'm going to do a counter check for him. This is functionally a drinking contest.
Yes, let's do this. I'm so here for it.
Okay, that's a 19 for him. So you are at 1 loss for the purposes of this.
I'll start writing them down somewhere just for sanity.
Yeah. So it's a Celestia versus...
So effectively he's at 1 win is what we're saying.
Yeah. First to 3 is at the risk of passing out or similar.
He takes a long draught of it, and you can see he's been already quite drunk, but it's been going for some time. Well, yes, there have always been those who believe that the ideals of the ideals of a social contract or fair decisions between kings and
it's all lies, isn't it? It's all built on lies. Nobility is a lie in itself, isn't it?
Well,
it's a load of shit that you get people to believe, so they do what you say. That's all it is.
Well, perhaps that may be how it started out, but I believe that we are empowered to grow beyond those ignoble beginnings, and I believe that it is entirely possible for a society to exist. Indeed, that we have a moral duty to create a society where those in power are obligated to serve those below. After all, do we not have...
Isn't that the definition of fucking power, that people are serving you? What a load of shit.
What is power? Power is having the ability to command others, to convince others to do what is outside of their immediate self-interest and within your interest. Yes, it is certainly within the capacity of those who have such power to abuse it, but think of what could be done if it could be turned to the common good.
Power's not a good thing.
Oh, well, I think on that is another point on which we must disagree. And I'll drink to that. He raises his glass again.
Cheers.
Tink. Give me another constitution save.
Yes, let's do this. Oh, fuck, that's an 8.
15. 2 losses for Celestia.
Oh, I'm going to pass out, guys.
Yes. Oh, wow, yeah, this stuff goes straight to your head.
Celestia sways for a moment.
But
the thing is, if you give somebody power, they're never going to do anything good with it. They're just going to play with everybody like they're their little dolls, and you're going to end up with a sort of fucking society that's existed forever, aren't you? It's a load of bollocks, if you ask me.
Well, between you and me, what I feel is important then that those in power are not secure in their power. Perhaps through some manner of democratic process by which their power
democracy works so well.
Well, yeah, no, I believe that a properly educated, philosophically taught people, if they know that they cannot keep their power without the assent of the people, will be much more motivated to care for people and lend their power towards public works and care rather than expending it upon personal vanity.
No, if somebody realises that they can lie well enough to convince people that they're powerful, they will, use it to shit on their lowers. If you give a child a rock, it'll squash ants with it, won't it?
Now, you see, yes, certainly there is always a risk of the demagogue, those who are very persuasive, who might seek to abuse that power, and that's why they must...
It's persuasion. There's nothing that makes them better. They just think there is.
This is the thing, I do not believe that in this ideal society those in charge are better. Merely that they have had a chance for more education to prepare them to rules wisely. I don't believe, and one day they'll see my head off for this, I don't believe that the nobility are better. All men, all women, man or halfling, we are all born as babes. We all are born the same. Our circumstances of our birth, our fortunes, may differ, but that is all it is, fortune. It is not a regent-given right that some may rule and some must serve. I believe that the duty of rule must be earned. And that is something I will drink to.
Me too.
Gives you a
Cheers.
clink of the glasses. 8.
Oh! Ha! 15!
Okay, he takes his sip and you can see his eyes start. Yeah, his eyes have started.
Delayed defeat for another round.
It's getting eyes are getting a little more lidded now.
I mean... But I can agree with you on that power should be earned, but I don't think power is something that people currently earn. I think power is something that people lie their way into and abuse. How would you suggest we stop that?
I would dearly like to believe that words alone could do this.
Bullshit.
And maybe in a better world they could. But words must be backed up by action. And a time will come where if those who rule cannot accept that they must rule justly, then those that serve them will must rise up, and create a better world. By force at first, though in time we must abandon force if we can, but always there will be a need to fight against those who would oppress.
In order to do that, they've got to realise it's all a lie first.
And the secret to that is education and enlightenment. That is the spirit of these last centuries here on the surface. I know that things have been different down below, but science, reason, these are the keys that will allow people to lift themselves up. With education, with reason and discussion, people can break free of the chains of delusion that those who are well-speaking and capable would put upon them.
It's a nice thought.
It is, and I'll drink to that.
Me too. Oh, fucking hell.
I'm loving this so much.
8 shit.
12.
Dear listeners, you didn't tune in for for philosophy, but I hope you're staying for it.
As you,
so that's 3 on his end.
Yep, you both drain the glass, and he clinks it down.
What the fuck is in your pot? Jesus.
He claps you on the shoulder. I like to get the dwarven stuff. Got hooked on it from my days spent with the old dwarven philosophers. You might want to sleep that off, my dear.
I think maybe you're right there.
He reaches forwards and claps you on the shoulder. As he does so, you can see that his waistcoat slightly peels to the side, and you can just see that a wallet is stuffed into the inside pocket.
Right. Do I pass out?
You're not passed out, but you're not really capable of conversation. You have disadvantage on ability checks until you can get some coffee or something.
Could I cast a spell?
You can cast a spell, sure.
Shit. I'm trying to decide whether to do something or not. Fuck. I'm going to cast Suggestion.
Okay.
It's been really amazing talking to you. I'm a bit of a budding author myself, but I can't really get anyone to look at my stuff. I mean, it's a bit of an ask, but I don't suppose you'd be willing to lend a signature to anything, would you?
So you're suggesting that he lends a signature?
I'm not sure. I'm trying to figure out where to do this. I mean, I could even just, borrow your papers for half an hour, forge it a few times. You don't even have to do anything yourself. I'd do it all.
Okay. You're suggesting that he lets you borrow his
yes!
Okay, wisdom save. He blinks a moment, and you just see, and you just hear a sort of sound that no one else in the room seems to perceive. Corzin, you hear this sound briefly while you're having this incredibly boring conversation. You recognise it as the sonic one of Celestia's spirits. It only seems to manifest as music rather than light. And so that kind of blinks a little. Well, between you and me, sure. And he reaches into his pocket, pulls out his wallet.
Thank you. If you could not tell anyone as well, it's just, people might get a bit funny if they know I've nicked your signature for my book. It's a little embarrassing.
That's all right. If you, I'll be here if you just make sure to pass that back to me, all right?
Okay, thank you. And,
good.
I will do. Thank you for your extremely strong port as well. It's
yes.
delicious.
You should definitely try some.
I'll be back in a little while with these. I need to go and deal with them, but I'll come back. Just, like I said, don't tell anyone.
Sure, why not? He passes you his wallet. Inside.
I'm gonna put his wallet in my pocket.
Yep. You put your wallet straight in the pocket. You'll take a look at the contents later.
And then I'm gonna drunkenly stumble past Corzin and go, walk out the door.
At this, Corzin goes, "If you'll just excuse me for one moment, I think my friend needs some assistance." And I scarper as quickly but as respectfully as I can after Celestia and I sort of take her, I guess, by the hand, because that's really all I can really do.
Outside, is there can we go round the back?
Yeah,
if that makes any sense, so that we're not just
back.
in the street. Corzin, I hand him the wallet. You can have a look in that and see if there are any papers in it, could you? I can barely even fucking see. That man can hold a drink. Jesus Christ. Not Jesus Christ.
Nope.
I'm going to wipe that. Aridna's tits.
Corzin gingerly opens the wallet and looks through.
So you find a set of identity papers for one Jean-Paul Savat. You find 12 gold pieces in loose change. You find you actually find you find 3 50 gold piece banknotes of the large folded type that you would take to a specific bank to cash in for coinage. A handful of what appear to be love letters and tear-stained letters from fans.
Fucking Gilderoy Lockhart over here.
A pressed rose, but no party invitation, which was the other thing you had to get.
All right.
Shit.
Well,
Do we have everything? Is everything there? Celestia's leaning against a wall.
the identity papers we can have.
Okay, that's a start. What was it? We needed an invitation as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. I suppose.
Where's Scamp? Are they in his room? Might be there.
Speaking of which,
probably.
Scamp, you make your way up
know.
to room 118.
Going really stealthily.
Okay.
Or trying to, at least.
Give me a stealth check, please. And I guess.
And I've got my hood up.
Yep, hood up.
So it's disadvantage to see me, and that is a 17.
Okay. There are a couple of various guests who pass but don't actually see you at all. This is it, the moment any of them come by, you just stop in place and they walk straight past you. No, as if they just haven't seen you in the slightest. And then you carry on. You're keeping to shadows and such, but yeah, the chameleon effects of the shadow cloak seem to be working pretty damn well. So, you head up to room 118, which is neatly displayed by a door number in brass on the front. And after a couple of false starts, Friend helpfully identifies the one that is 118.
I can count somewhat.
Giving the door a check. Nope, it is locked.
Is it alarmed?
Make an investigation check.
Ooh, 19.
As you're studying it, you see someone else open their door further down the hallway. You stay stock still, they don't seem to notice you. But you notice as they do so, there's a small ding-a-ling-ling sound attached. And you notice that there is, next to the door, set up in such a way that it can be wired to serve as a sort of alarm, a room service bell. This person seems to have accidentally knocked it off when they went in. But, yeah, you'd have to... You reckon there's probably a way to open the door if you're being cautious that doesn't set the room service bell off.
Okay. Can I try and get it unlocked?
Yes, give me a Thieves' Tools check.
Ooh. thieves' tools. It's dexterity, isn't it?
Mhm.
12.
You try a little bit, but... And then you just hear from inside, ding-ling-ling-ling-ling. Okay, you've set the room service bell off, but you've not quite made it through the lock yet. Give me another check if you want.
Yeah, why not? I'm going to keep an ear out for anyone coming. Oh, natural 20.
Oh, fantastic. This time, it neatly clicks open. Okay, the door swings open. You find yourself in a very messy hotel room. There are wine bottles scattered around the floor in places. The bed is completely mussed up and has seen some use from the looks of it. There is a heavy case. There are books and such scattered everywhere. There is so much shit that you're just that it needs an investigation check.
Friend, can you help?
Right, I think, yes, let's call this within the hour then. I'll pop out and see what I can do. The little skull floats out. Actually, the skull doesn't need to float out. Books start lifting up, folding themselves through pages. So make your investigation check with advantage.
Oh, because that's so good. That's a 10.
With advantage, okay.
Yeah, one was a 4, one was a 9.
Yeah, it takes a 4. You spend about 5 minutes just furiously searching before you one of the heavy one of these manuscripts, and you can see there are a lot of journals, half abandoned writing pieces, sketches and such, all manner of things, and a lot of tear-stained love letters that sort of fall out where you're searching. But as you open one of the manuscripts, a gilt-edged invitation on really nice cardstock comes out, inviting Jean-Paul Savat as the guest of honor to a private soirée at Madame Leclerc's after his keynote speech at Crosswater University. And it says at the bottom in red letters, "Invitation required +1."
Right, I'm going to leave.
Okay, as you do so, you can hear the sound of wheels trundling down the hallway. And yes, you can just. There's definitely the sound of a heavy trolley being pushed along. Is there anything you want to do?
Do I think I can get out of the way of it, or do I think it's going to
Up to you.
intersect? Oh, I'm going to lock the door and hide.
Okay, you slam the door shut. Close
Probably
it.
sensible.
Make a stealth check.
Hood's up, so I've got
Okay.
the advantage. Oh, that's not good at all.
No.
It's a 12.
So you just hide under one of the desks in the room, and there is a knock at the door. Room service.
Have I heard him speak?
Room service.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah. Can I minor illusion and replicate his voice?
Sure. Give. What do you say?
Change my mind, go away.
Change my mind. Go away. Make a deception check.
That was fucking weird. I don't know why, but it was.
Yeah.
Deception 17.
Fucking writers. You hear the trolley wheel off down the hallway.
And then I'm going to get out of there before they realise he's downstairs.
And you do. You quickly scarper downstairs, and you see, and you actually just catch the bright white and purple tailcoat, as it were, of Celestia staggering out the front door. And you just as a pair of them are asking how you're doing, you catch up with them in the back alleyway.
That's perfect.
I found this, but I can't find any papers.
I've got the papers, it's fine. They're sailing
got
on a
it.
wall.
Now what do we do?
Find a coffee shop.
Yeah, I need some, food or something. Fuck, what is that book? Jesus. Oh, Aaron knows to even ignore all the Jesuses that I'm doing. That's just slip of the tongue.
Yeah.
Probably as good for getting you drunk as it is for stripping the barnacles off the hull of a ship.
Yeah, it felt like that. But in a very sort of expensive way, you know.
All right, well, just so we don't immediately get fingered for daylight robbery, which is what this is. Maybe
we should probably go over to the sculptor's garden
we should
right
probably
now.
give his wallet back to him. He's not immediately going to notice it's gone.
I think maybe he thinks I'm going to come back in a while with it.
Yeah? So why don't you go back?
I mean, I've got 8 hours. He's going to notice that the papers aren't in it, and then I'm going to have to explain that.
So, is that how long that spell thing that you cast is going to last?
Yeah, we've got 8 hours. I told him not to tell anyone.
True. Strictly speaking, the wording was "lend me your wallet," so it would still be in effect.
Yeah. Lend me your wallet and don't tell anyone.
Well, you get to make one suggestion.
I don't know, actually. Let's check the rules on
I
that.
think that would count as 2 separate suggestions.
Okay, cool.
Because it's got to be...
But it's 8 hours.
Yeah. It's just a question of whether it completes the moment he passes you the wallet. I think the wording of lend rather than give means that it... you can sustain it and he will count it as... He will still believe that it's been lent rather than stolen.
Yeah.
That's very good, actually.
I mean, but the thing is, if I hand it back to him with no papers in it, he's going to have questions because I said lend. So,
anyone good at duplicating things?
That's what I was thinking. Could we forge it?
Can we take it to the sculptor's garden and ask them to do it and then take it back?
It's possible.
Yes.
All
I think that could be a good idea. They have coffee there, don't they?
If we've got the time... Oh, God, so they got coffee there.
They've got enough coffee. Let's go to the sculptor's garden. He's not going to suspect anything for a good while yet. As long as I don't pass out or anything.
Try not to do that.
Just hit me if I do. But it should be fine. I think I'm okay. I'm very drunk, but not passing out or anything.
Okay.
I'll throw another snowball at you.
Shut up.
And with that...
Oh, don't do that. Those are terrible things.
You stumble on towards the statue garden. And that, I think, is where we're going to take our break. So, gentle listeners, we shall return after this no doubt important message. And now, a word from our friends over at Party Advantage.
Greetings, listeners. Are you looking to add more D&D fun to your lineup? Then be sure to check out Party Advantage, a D&D 5th edition play podcast featuring 2 campaigns alternating each week. In the Arius adventures, you'll set off into the land of Arius, from the ancient dragon gods that created this world to the rise and fall of various races and civilizations. This land has history that stretches far into times long forgotten. Our heroes find themselves on a journey that will take them to the busy city of gnomes, the gilded halls of the High Elves, and to the deepest depths of the Underdark. Then in the Farwind Saga, you'll travel with our group of anti-heroes for their suspense-filled exploits as they explore the enigmatic continent of Farwind. This is an ancient land lost to the histories of Faerun, where mystery and danger shroud the deep forest, forbidden mountains, and dark mires. Yet every risk offers tantalizing rewards to those brave enough to take them. Will these parties gain the advantage on their next encounter? Find out every Wednesday on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. See you then.
Can you hear me? I can hear you. Through your headphones, your speakers, while you're at work, or taking a jog, or playing your computer games. You should like, share, and subscribe, because I'll know if you don't.
And welcome back. So, you make your way back from the Silken Goose across town. So, as you're making your way down towards the statue garden, you're crossing through the Iron Ward, and it's just as you're approaching Steel Square that you actually encounter, you see a platoon of about 6 of the Ebon Guard, leaving St. Bridget's Church and heading up towards the Duke's Ward, in the direction you're coming from.
Okay, I'm going to duck into an alleyway, immediately.
Okay, give me a stealth check with disadvantage.
Ah, shit, no! This is really bad.
So you're wearing your bright clothes.
Oh! You will never believe what has just fucking happened. I rolled a natural 20 and a natural 18. What's my stealth? Fucking hell! That's a 21, mate. I'm fine.
Yeah, ducking into an alleyway, you can see that by sheer coincidence, someone has actually left a handcart, quite a large, heavily piled handcart that you are just able to perfectly slip behind. The 6 Ebon Guard march past, barely, more or less oblivious to your presence. They seem to be taking everything in as they pass, but they don't see you. Just carry on their way.
I like to imagine Celestia just jumps into the cart with no warning.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, and Corzin looks around and is like, what the? Oh. Right. This is one apple cart I'm not going to upset.
Once the guard have passed, you slip back out, continue on your way.
Celestia's looking a little bit breathless and a bit small and tense and not good.
It's alright, they've gone.
Right, let's go to the sculpture garden.
And indeed, you head back to the statue garden, where...
Can I roll an insight check, actually, just to see how much that's obviously a terrifying experience for her sobered her up?
Sure, go for it.
That's a 14?
I mean, it momentarily sobered her up, but she's still pretty sloshed.
It's one of,
Okay.
I'm still pissed, but it's one of those when something scary happens, you snap out of it for a minute, and then your body's like, oh no, we're still drunk, fuck. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
The adrenaline only lasted for a few moments.
Yeah.
It's one of the occasions where it's a good thing disadvantage doesn't stack.
Yeah.
Of course, you're drunk and flashy.
That was one of the best disadvantage rolls I have ever rolled. Literally.
The best disadvantage roll to be rolled on this podcast ever was in episode 1, when Corzin rolled 2 natural 20s.
That was ridiculous. I remember that.
Yeah. Well, I think I said at the time, it's all downhill from here.
Yeah, so much.
Oh.
So
the Ebon Guard are going the other way.
The Ebon Guard are going the other way. Yep.
I will keep my eye out.
You do.
Drunkenly put my cloak on over my fancy clothes. And put the hood up slightly haphazardly so it falls a little bit over my face.
Okay, continuing on with with all the appearance of someone who is kind of feeling maybe a little ashamed of their rampant day drinking. You stumble onwards to the statue garden, where as you enter at the bar, Valdania, the blonde high elf in an immaculate black vest and skirt, looks and goes, right, I'll have the usual room prepared. Strong coffee?
Yeah, that would be really good. Please, thank you.
It was all in the line of duty.
She'll see you shortly.
Dutiful drinking, yes. I say the Scamp very seriously.
You are shown into the usual enclosed lamplit room, with appreciable speed, 3 cups of coffee are produced and served to you by Valdania, and it's actually you're actually left waiting for the better part of 10 minutes before Veldrina, her twin, show in again in her green dress and petticoat, made up and rouged, enters with her own cup of coffee.
I assume I'm still pissed. Like, how pissed am I?
I mean, you've been drinking coffee for 10 minutes, so
okay.
You're kind of starting to get the not quite sober,
drunk, but not.
Yeah, that kind of drunk alert you get when you've been drinking a lot of coffee to try and
Scamp
counteract
pushes
the
their
alcohol.
coffee over to Celestia.
Thank
I don't
you.
want to drink that.
Yeah, I do. Thanks.
You need it.
You're just you're just making yourself busy with keeping yourself busy with the jug of milk.
Oh.
You can order milk in Weatherspoons, guys. It's the best thing.
Oh,
I love that you've discovered this. Did you order milk because Scamp?
Yes, and also I really wanted milk.
oh.
I saw you tweet that the other day. That was priceless.
That's so cute. I didn't see this tweet.
I forgot to tweet it. It was just on Facebook.
Ah.
I forgot.
Oh, I thought it was. Okay.
I was going to, and I
You
forgot.
should tweet it though at some retrospective point.
Yeah.
Adorable.
So, Valdrina enters, sipping at her own coffee. Looks like she's taking it black again today. Well, she sits down with it, places her coffee down carefully. I believe there are congratulations offered to each of you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, our contact with the church gave us a report. So, well done.
Yeah, well, society not crumbling around everybody's ear holes is obviously going to be better for business now, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And now that that has been dealt with, we are free to move your little concern further up the priority list.
Do you know how long that will be?
I don't have anything for you today. We're working on it, though. I have hopes that we will get information soon.
Okay.
Obviously, we had to put that on hold for a few days with the whole shadow.
No, understandable. Vague estimate of how soon?
Well, the sooner we can solve another problem, the sooner we can get it on. I've already put in the necessary requests, but if you would like to solve another problem for us, we will pay you handsomely, and I think we'll be able to justify hiring some mages to do a few out-and-out sendings to the right people to make sure we can get the information.
Right. That would be
First
good.
of all, though...
We're working on the third one, but we have something for you.
Excellent. I'm very glad to hear that. She takes another sip of coffee.
Yeah. I pull out the papers, I guess.
Yeah, and I pull out the identity documents.
She extends two graceful hands, takes them, examines them. Excellent.
Bit of a weird request. Couldn't happen to knock up a forgery, could you? I said I'd take it back to him. I got him drunk. He'll be suspicious if nothing comes back.
I'm sure we can manage that, yes. Give me an hour.
Fantastic.
I can manage something for you there.
Should be fine.
I hope you don't mind if I hand you the forgery.
Oh, no.
No, that's fine.
Good.
By all means, he just needs... he needs to believe it.
She folds it up, puts it into one of her pockets, because this is my world, and in my world, dresses can have pockets.
That's a world that I want to live in. Yes.
Well, I was always kind of assuming that while Celestia was more of a trousers kind of person, regardless, she would be having pockets, because pockets are practical.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
she'd have
pockets. In them. Yeah.
So, she places them into her pockets and says, now, as for the other thing, there's been some annoying developments. You'll be happy to know that I can offer you a bit more money for the McDougal situation.
We may have an in.
Good, I'm glad to hear that. Unfortunately, the McDougals have taken advantage of the recent troubles with the Shadow Insurgency to take some liberties. They have some things which we placed into their care, which we believe they're going to take out of our care. So, in addition to the 25 gold crowns per McDougal that you take care of, 50 for Morag, and the price has actually risen to 300 for bringing her back alive now, and with a certain something of hers as well. There are certain crates marked with stars that are in the possession of the McDougals. We'll pay you 20 gold for each of the crates you bring back. There should be 10 in total.
What's in them?
I'm afraid we're not quite friends enough for me to tell you that, but if you do this for us, I'm sure we will be.
If we're risking our lives, I want to know what for.
contraband. There is a very large project we're currently engaged in, which is why we couldn't take care of these tasks ourselves. All of our people are busy ensuring that that operation runs smoothly. We'd be very welcome to invite you into that operation if you can sort this out for us. Obviously, you're not obligated to follow through on it.
Is it dangerous, what's in the crates? I feel like we need to know that much.
Don't set them on fire, is what I'd say.
Okay, so yes.
Oh, right. But nothing, sort of city ending.
No. I'd say just make sure you don't set them on fire. They should be all right. A little bit of rough handling, they can survive.
Okay, good to know.
The contents within are fairly sturdy.
Treat it like that powder keg we found.
Yes.
Well, throw it at things through a door and then hide.
Please,
Not what I had in mind.
Celestia covers her giggle with a cough.
Regardless, the other thing is, Morag has wandered off with something which is one of the sculptor's own possessions as part of the objects that they've misappropriated from us while in their care. She has a particular firearm. The sculptor would like that back. Part of the 300 gold includes getting that firearm back as well as bringing her back alive.
What does it look like?
It's a pistol. It's a unique design with 6 barrels on the front that can be swiveled round to fire one after the other.
Very fancy.
I'm afraid we really must insist on getting that one back. But I should warn you, because of course, in the event of a firefight, she is likely to use it herself.
Yeah.
Noted.
Okay.
So best take her out at range or disable her up close.
Indeed. All of the McDougalls are gunslingers, so be warned for that.
Right.
Okay.
And there are 7 of them. Do they always work all together, do you know?
Well, they're not always together in the same place. If they've got something big on, yes, they're likely to be together, but obviously no family is with itself, or every member together all the time. Some of them have to go out and handle their various operations. They do extend protection to a lot of people in the Warrens. And of course, some of them need to go out and make deliveries to their clients. And then they have to run that actual brewery of theirs as well. Most of them tend to be around the brewery.
If there's 7 of them, there's no way we're going to take them all at once. It's just they have numbers on their side too much.
They do.
But if you can sort this out, the sculptor will be very eager to have a face-to-face meeting with each of you. He has already expressed how impressed he is with the work you've done thus far.
Okay.
Important question then. How powerful are they as a gang? Because the thing about halflings is that we're used to fighting people who are much bigger than us. So, generally, we tend to think tactically. If, on the other hand, they've spent a fair while being the big people, as it were, then maybe they'll be thinking slightly differently and they won't be expecting the same tactics to be used against them.
They might have got complacent.
The McDougalls have had control of the Warrens for the last 12 years, actually close to 14 years, by and large. They've ruled that roost quite comfortably for some time, and indeed that was after taking over from their parents. So yes, they've been in control for some time. There was a certain amount of bloody takeover when they originally appeared, but At the time, Morag did the smart thing and bent the knee to the sculptor, so we didn't have a problem with it. Since then, they've successfully suppressed smaller gangs trying to take their roost.
Frankly, I feel like you'll probably want to know this. I think they're taking whatever it is out of the city tonight.
Right.
And they've asked us to help. So, quite a good in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I don't know if we'd need other people involved to beat all of them if there's going to be 7 of them there.
Depends how they're doing it.
There are, whichever way you look at it, 3 of us.
Mm.
But if there's not going to be all of them there, if there's like 5 of us, I fancy our chances.
Yeah.
5 of them,
Yeah.
even, sorry. I mean, my question being, would you mind if we got other people involved? We know they're sensitive issues, but
So long as they know how to keep their mouths shut and don't ask too much, we won't be extending any additional reward on top of what we've already discussed. But
yeah, we could split it with people, but I just wanted to check that would be okay with
that's fine. Don't let them see the interior of the crates, please.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, I have no issue with you getting additional support as required. My thought on the matter would be, if you can find out how they're planning to bring it out of the city, then perhaps you'll be able to find out how they're likely to distribute their forces.
Corzin mouths to the other 2. Fighty.
I nod.
Well then. If that's all for now, I think I'd better get on to creating this forgery for you.
Yes, we're back in an hour for that, if that's alright.
Yes, or stay if you want. I can have lunch brought to you.
Should we do that? I'm a bit pissed still, to be honest.
That would be actually a good
That'd be
idea, I
lovely.
think.
Feel free to keep the room. I'll return in an hour. And she does proceed to leave, and shortly after, Veldania brings in a spread at no charge. In fact, she hasn't charged you for the coffee either. It seems that this is on the sculptor's largesse.
Have we ever seen them both in the same room?
It's like Superman.
No, you've not. You've never actually seen them in the same room together.
Okay, they're definitely one person who's just schizophrenic.
And are capable of lightning costume changes.
Yeah, really fast face of makeup, mate. I mean, she drinks a lot of coffee, you never know. The costume's different. There is that doesn't work at all without the weird hand gestures I was doing, but I enjoyed myself, so fuck it.
Oh, yeah. I imagined them. Don't worry, Ellie. I imagined them.
Good. Imagination. It's an important thing.
So, you sup, you eat lunch, you take a short rest, you drink enough coffee to counteract the alcohol. So this will basically, it'll persist until your next short or long rest. Cool. With the effects of the coffee. So you're pretty much operating as normal.
Yeah.
But with a certain degree of coffee strung out.
Yeah. Slight shakes, but
yeah. Okay. Veldrina returns with a, for all extents and purposes, identical looking set of identity papers, which she passes into your hands. Oh.
While we are there, I would like to get changed into my first outfit, so slightly less flashy.
Yep.
Like still Celestia, but not enough to be really, really outlandish. And I'm going to put my boring cloak over the top of it.
Okay.
Braided trousers back again.
Yeah.
It's not Celestia Stardust Day if you haven't had at least 3 costume changes.
Wait. One day I'll have enough outfits to be able to have pointless costume changes whenever I fancy them.
Oh, you'll just be walking a rack around.
Just make commissions with Vardy.
We're going to need a bag of holding
for my clothes. Yeah. I'm just so here for that. That would be amazing.
Right. So yes, finishing up your lunch. What do you wish to do next?
We need a nap, don't we?
Yeah, but maybe we should take these papers back first.
Yes,
Yeah, we
papers
should.
back first.
Okay.
And then if we are going to ask for help, we need to work out who that is and how.
No, Fighty's a fantastic bet.
I fancy our chances if it gets into a scrap with him.
I mean, we've
already asked a lot of him.
If we really want to have a fun day, we could ask Fighty and Vera and not tell either of them we've done it.
I don't think that'd be a good idea.
But God, it'd be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but it
They
could have...
would murder us. They would full on murder us.
And they'd win.
Oh, yeah.
I've got an instinct that there would be repercussions to that, to which the term blast radius would be appropriate.
Yes, Fighty is slightly better at a fight than Vera is. Let's get Fighty. But I guess, yeah. First, let's go and give this man the papers back. And then leave very, very quickly before he realises anything's weird.
You return to the Silken Goose. The same troop of Ebon Guard heading back the other way.
Oh god.
I jump into the nearest alleyway or thing.
Yeah, give me another stealth check.
Okay,
This is a straight
not
one.
disadvantage though.
Because you're on
I'm going to
coffee.
keep an eye on whether they notice Celestia.
Natural 20!
Oh my god!
You're actually by
God.
the same cart as before at the same moment you see them coming.
Fling myself into it.
Back into this cart.
Coulson just leans casually against it, like, nothing to see here.
The guard just stamp on past 2 natural ones in a row. Like both times I've checked that.
Oh.
That's ridiculous.
And you...
I technically had 2 20s in a row, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, but the last one was with disadvantage, so I had to take my 18, but I have rolled 2 20s on those.
Seems that the spider gods are on your side.
Again, Celestia's breathing gets a bit fast and she just takes a bottle of whiskey out of her bag and has a big old swig of it.
Yeah. You stumble back out of the cart once they've passed. Heart beating erratically from the quantities of alcohol and coffee you've drunk and the sudden terror of the moment. Before you carry on your way back to the Silken Goose. Heading back to the Silken Goose, there is a large amount of snoring from the wine bar. And you can see that Savat and all of his various admirers are now just passed out on the couches and chairs there.
Okay, I'm going to be a real dick about this. Do I have any paper?
You don't, but there is paper and there is paper and stationery left over from where they were taking notes, just nearby.
I'm going to write on a bit of paper. Thank you so much. I'll write many a book because of you. Hope you read my future novels. Big kiss at the end and leave his wallet on the table and his papers in front of him. Because I'm a twat.
You just gently pop those in the table, twirl around, and stride on out.
Nice.
Okay. You've successfully replaced Savat's wallet.
Back to the Grimhardies for a nap.
Well, if we're going to take Fighty, we should talk to him before.
Oh yeah, we
give him a
should
bit
do
of
that,
notice.
shouldn't we?
You said he'd be at the textiles place. The one that isn't abandoned.
Yes, that's not far from the
Recently vacated
Grimhardies, is
Shadows.
it?
Yes, you head back to...
Oh no, it is. I'm getting my places mixed.
So yes, you head down to the Quick Cut in the Glazers Quarter. And once again there is the... you can see there is the halfling proprietor behind the desk. They seem to be working at quickly saying something. Look up. Oi, you get over yet?
Yes, us again.
Alright. Hey, as you was folk here, see you again.
You got the gnome? The gnome friend of ours.
Yeah.
Celestia takes another swig of whiskey.
He carries on with his work, and after a short pause, wearing in a cream silk shirt with a blue waistcoat, Fighty emerges from the curtain at the back. Oh, hello there.
Suit you, sir.
Good to see the three of you in slightly better circumstances than before.
Yeah.
Well,
You can see that he has a pair of very nice looking black silk gloves on now.
Okay. Corzin says, right, Fighty, now, how are you up for a bit of fun?
Well, I'm always up for a bit of fun.
And probably a fight.
Ah, now that's exactly the sort of fun I'm looking for. This isn't going to end up with me needing to take a really long nap and all of my limbs feeling like they've fallen asleep again, is it?
I really doubt it.
No.
Well, you can't hope for anything, for everything.
Maybe guns, but nothing abnormal.
I'm going to be blunt with you. I do better in a straight up, hand-to-hand sort of business.
I mean, it's probably going to be that, but they might have guns, is the point.
Okay.
How many times has someone brought a gun to a fist fight and lost because it was with you?
He stops. Thinks for a moment. More than 3, less than 14.
I think that's pretty good.
I like those odds. Right. We might beg a moment of your time, we'll fill you in on the details.
Okay then. And you
I guess we
proceed
do,
to fill in
yeah.
on the details.
Yeah.
Here's your nod. Right.
I mean, do you have any objection, the rest of you, like, to filling him in on more or less what we know?
No. And obviously, we would say to him, like, obviously it wouldn't be a fight straight away. We'd wait until they were out in the woods where no one would hear them, sort of thing. So you'd have to be a bit subtle at the start.
I mean, subtle's not really my thing, but tell you what, if you tell me when to turn up and where to turn up, I'll turn up and start fighting.
Do we know exactly where they're going to be?
At this stage, I don't think you do. They've given you a time to meet them.
I mean, we don't know where they're going to be, but I suppose you could follow us.
I'll tell you what, come with us to where we're going to meet them.
Right.
We'll go to wherever we're going to go, and when we give you the old signal, wink, wink, then you'll know it's time to start cracking skulls.
Is the signal going to be winking?
No, that was just an example.
Right.
But
Is there a specific
talk
signal,
about
or
that.
should I just look out for winking?
What's a good signal?
Possibly
I'll do this.
something
I go. I do a little dancing light in my palm.
Oh, okay. That's a good signal.
Pretty obvious. What do we think?
Fair enough. Although something that the McDougalls aren't going to immediately think is suspicious.
True.
We'd like to keep the element of surprise as long as we possibly can.
We'll say something about Heather, that lady that you used to work with.
Oh, okay. That'll work.
Yeah, we won't mention her beforehand.
Hannah.
Does that work?
Yeah, good old Heather. Right then. So, I'll turn up at this brewery at dusk then.
Grand.
Okay.
Fantastic.
You know, there's something to be said for people who are easily amused.
I'm not entirely... I wouldn't say I'm easily amused. I just know what I like.
Then there's a lot to
And
be
we
said
know
for that.
that we like you.
Fantastic.
Obviously, we'd split the fee with you if you want.
Tell you what, I'm a bit flush at the moment, so how about as much beer as I can walk away with?
Great.
Grand. Sold.
I
Fantastic.
think we might be losing money on that one.
Hey, if there's a man that can drink a brewery dry, I think I'm standing in front of him right now.
Right then. And Well, actually, you know what? Tell you what, you take a quarter of that fee you're getting, put it aside, and you can pay it to me for commissioning some clothes for you. How about we put it like that?
Grand.
I like that.
Works for me. Okay. So, having arranged ahead of time for a little bit of support from fighting, it's very late morning by now, maybe coming up towards 12. You were
How was I pissed on port by like 10? Fuck's sake.
Well, you started drinking at 9.
True.
And it was basically 60%.
Wow.
Jesus.
So, you're heading back to nap at the Grimani's?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
See how the fucking parrots doing while we're there.
They must be really weird with the hours we're keeping.
Yeah.
Yeah. You return to find the monkey is halfway up the interior of the courtyard, refusing to come down. Has just shoved a handful of nuts into some old guttering and is just picking them up and eating them. Because going,
Jeffrey, no! Jeffrey!
animal handling check.
Oh, this will go well. 14.
And he begins. He kind of gives you a bit of a monkey-like glare of "this isn't over," but shoves as many nuts as he can into his mouth and then starts clambering down. He lopes across the floor and then crawls up your leg, around your torso and onto your shoulder. And you know what? It's been all day. Roll me a D100.
Oh, no, don't kill my monkey! 30.
30. That's a new one, I
I
think.
don't think we've had 30.
Does sound new, doesn't it?
Yeah, so 30. You feel a strange build-up of power within you. And yeah, okay. And you just feel like you really want to go somewhere. Pick a location within 60 feet of you that you can see.
Where the monkey was putting his nuts.
There is just a pulse of purplish light, and the world seems to just flicker for a moment, and you're hanging off the side of the window on the interior of the on one of the interior parts of this courtyard, next to where the nuts are. Celestia and Corzin, you see Scamp flash with purple light and reappear halfway up a building.
What the fuck?
Give me an athletics check, please, Scamp.
It's a 6.
Oh god.
You try to grab hold, but while the monkey leaps comfortably off your shoulder onto the side of the building, you're less fortunate. Give me an acrobatics check, please.
Oh, that's better. 17.
Okay, you manage to drop and roll a bit, so the 10 damage you take is halved to 5. But you do hit the ground with quite a... Oh!
Coulson says, "Well, I wasn't going to be catching you."
No, me neither.
Ow.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
You poor dear. So Lilith comes over and sort of looks at you and helps pick you up.
Oh.
Jeffrey.
Only problem is now the monkey's up there.
The monkey goes back to eating its nuts. It's slow. It shoves the rest of the nuts back into its mouth and then slowly clambers back down the drain pipe again. Then back onto your shoulder.
Can't help but wonder what it thinks you're saying.
I think it's more feelings, intentions. They don't really have, as far as I can tell, language in the same way we do.
How would you know? Maybe they're having a very deep philosophical discussion.
Cheese!
Possibly,
Horses! Cheese!
Maybe you're right. Maybe that there is the John Paul Savant of monkeys.
Maybe it is. How would you know? Do we really know anything? Is it really real? Look, this is how I got him, do you see?
Does Corzin find his parrot anywhere?
You head upstairs and you find there is a study which you've not actually been into before, with shelves full of books, and perched on the table on a stand is the parrot, engaged in what appears to be a long, sullen staring contest with Justice. He was kind of sat against one of the, leaning against.
How
one of the
long have we been?
You've been a few hours.
Oh no!
Justice looks over when you arrive. Good to see you've returned. I trust your morning was fruitful.
Yeah, how was yours?
He glares over at the parrot.
Two you getting on all right?
Well enough, I suppose. Says nothing and just stares.
Oh, that's worse. Why is that worse?
You can see that the cloth gauntlet is still on and is covered in just cuts and scratches where the cloth has been torn and slashed.
Okay. Corzin sort of pats his shoulder and goes, up, come on.
You'll regret this! And the parrot flies over and perches on your shoulder.
Okay. I feed it some more nuts or seeds.
It quite happily snatches up the seeds from your hand.
Now, you and I are going to have a long and in-depth chat, I'm sure.
One of us is.
This, he points to it with regards to the rest of the room, like, this parrot is far too smart by half.
I would say that for sure.
Could I roll an insight check to see
Yes, you can.
What he may mean by that? Oh, that's a 3. No, it's a 4.
Oh.
Grand.
Justice has just not taken a liking to this parrot.
I'm going to say to...
Maybe he's not a bird person.
I'm going to say to Justice, because I made the insight check before. Do you not like this particular parrot that much, then? Or has it got any better over the afternoon? You didn't like it when you saw it earlier.
That parrot is bad news.
What makes you say that?
Have you listened to it talk?
Yes.
There are some certain ominous things, but presumably he's just heard that and is repeating.
One would like to think that, yes.
Yes, but who is his previous owner that he picked up such weird stuff? That's what I want to know.
Well, presumably it was, if the vendor was to be believed, it was Captain Scarl himself.
One of them, yes.
Yeah, I wonder which one.
Are you familiar?
Because, yeah, I've got a passing understanding. There was 2 famous Captain Scarls, one more infamous than the other.
Yes, the pirate was more successful than the privateer. I believe that was his great nephew.
Yeah, there's a whole shanty about him.
But no, Edwin Scarl was he was a pirate some 80 years ago.
And Elcid was his great nephew, so that was maybe
I think
30.
About 20 years ago.
Ah.
Humans.
Corzin sort of shrugs slightly.
You've got to... I know halflings make this mistake a lot. You've got to shorten the generation time.
Ah, you're absolutely right.
And then you get to elves and everything goes batshit.
Well, quite.
I'm sure I wouldn't know about that.
You've all got short lives in the end!
Who the fuck has this parrot been talking to?
Corzin is going to actually respond directly to that and goes, so, compared to whom, may I ask?
The Watcher in the Waves!
Okay.
Okay, he goes a bit stony-faced and goes, and who might that be?
She's always watching.
Hang
All
on.
right.
Hang on. In character, do I know what species ogre is?
You do not.
Shit. Okay.
You know that
the
she...
gender of the kraken as well.
But, I mean, that's immediately going to make Corzin... Okay, do you think maybe we should take this parrot to, I don't know, an arcanist? Just to be absolutely sure that it is not all it appears to be?
I say to the parrot, who's always watching?
She is.
Can I sit for 10 minutes and cast Detect Magic?
I'm not going to stop you.
Sure, you can.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm making
I'm
coffee
gonna
while
get
you're
the
doing
colouring
it.
book out and cast Detect Magic.
Yep, you prepare, you get your colouring book. Okay, so sitting opposite the parrot, sitting on
Imagine you staring it dead in the eye.
You stare in the one eye is covered by an eye patch.
Dead in the eye, as I
Yes.
said.
Yep.
Technically
In the
correct.
eye, yeah.
Corzin's going to continue feeding the parrot periodically and hopefully managing to avoid getting crap all down his back.
In your sight, Scamp, Corzin's boots seem to give off a strange sort of shadowy aura, as does your new cloak and Celestia's vest. But the parrot, as far as you can see, is just a parrot.
What about the monkey?
The monkey is an adorable monkey.
It's an adorable monkey.
Oh.
It's not a magic parrot.
There. Also, actually, it's worth mentioning, I suppose, that also both Corzin's, well, Death and Dishonour both give off a strange sort of moonlit glow to them, and the skull in your pocket, the one with friend in, seems to give off a curious sort of misty wisping as well.
I want to do something really fucking stupid, guys.
Yep.
Go on.
So, we're about to have a long rest, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to do detect thoughts on the parrot.
Alright.
I put my hand to my temple and proper stare at it. X-Men style.
You'll regret this, sunshine, you hear in your head.
I probe further, which apparently I can do.
Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, shit.
Oh!
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay, that is a 15.
Peering deeper into its thoughts, all you can hear is the roaring of the sea.
Okay.
Everywhere, all around you, almost like it would swallow you up. But you're able to hold yourself together. You're not consumed by it.
I imagine what you see is Celestia looking deeply at it, causing you probably see the purple spirit make a little thread between them, sort of thing. And then the thread breaks and I pull back like, oof.
Told you!
Alright.
That
What
parrot's
did you see?
fucked. So I looked in its head. I can do that, by the way, sometimes. And just sort of saw the sea roaring like it was all around me. I think if I'd gone a little bit deeper, I might have been overwhelmed by it. What the fuck kind of pet shop is that man running? Fuck's sake! Ugh!
Kraken parrot.
Could it be a Kraken parrot? Can the Kraken do that?
Could I roll a history check to see if either Scarrel had any contact with a Kraken?
You can certainly roll a check.
Okay.
Do I have to...
That's a 7 on the dice. If I add my history, that's 8.
You've heard a lot of fanciful tales about Edwin Scarrel, including apparently slaying at least one ancient sea monster. Probably not the Kraken, based on the fact that the Kraken is still around. It's pretty hard to tell. Think of anything specific that would count here.
Do I have to have dropped Detect Thoughts?
Let me check the wording.
Because it's concentration up to a minute, but it's completely up to you with regard to
how
this works with this thing.
On that, because Detect Thoughts, concentration up to a minute.
Any one creature I can see within
action,
30 feet.
Yeah, on each turn, you can see any one creature you can see within 30 feet of you.
If the creature has an intelligence of 3 or lower or doesn't speak any language, the creature is unaffected. It speaks language! So...
It does. Also, I would be willing to bet it has
more than
intelligence significantly.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, still goes. Still going.
Alright,
so
it's still going.
Yeah, you've still got Detect Thoughts going.
Yeah, I'd like to say that I haven't dropped it completely and I connect the thread back up ever so slowly and try and keep it for the full minute and see if I hear anything else. If you will allow that as a GM, obviously.
Okay, yeah, you can continue to read surface thoughts. Yeah.
I ask the parrot, so what do you know about the Kraken?
One moment.
No.
The Kraken, the parrot.
Do I hear anything?
The Kraken. The Kraken. What? No.
It's because we've said Kraken so many times. It's fine.
Yeah.
The parrot says, and its thoughts echo this perfectly. More than you.
I'm going to probe again, if you'll allow it.
Make another wisdom save.
Okay. Fuck it.
Ooh.
Oh dear.
Oh, that's a nat 1. Oh, guys.
Oh, no.
Shit. Something terrible's going to happen.
Okay. Again, you feel yourself. This as you try and probe deeper. There's the roar of the ocean around you, and you feel yourself caught in the waves and pulled in. As everything just thunders around you, this desperate roaring of time and tide. Let's see, what would be the effective here? So, if this was successful, you would gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, something that looms large in its mind. Okay. You are buffeted around by the waves of... You don't know if these are waves of thought or just waves. And you get the sensation of something vast that has noticed you now. As you are forcibly ejected back into your body, you take 14 points of psychic damage.
Fuck, man!
And you watch as Celestia, she seems to just convulsively jerk as if something has shoved her backwards.
I imagine my nose bleeds.
And yeah, your nose bleeds. Extensive
psychic damage.
Oh, fuck.
I immediately rush over to her and cast Cure Wounds.
You alright?
And I turn around to the parrot and I say, right, you and I are having a serious talk, because if indeed you do know more about the Kraken than I do, then I think we can come to a mutual arrangement. But you do that to my friend again, and you are heading for the oven. You understand it?
I wouldn't fucking eat that if it asked me to, mate. Celestia says, wiping the blood off her nose.
Ah! Bite me! Ah!
Bite me, you fuck. So there's something really, really big and in the sea, and it's huge, and it was like I was taken around by the current, and it saw me. This is a good.
Corzin looks properly scared for a few moments.
Yeah, it's seen me. It knows that I did that. That parrot's fucked up.
We've got to leave.
We
If
can't.
there's any chance that was the Kraken, then we've got to leave here right now.
I can't leave here right now.
Why?
Information.
The parrot
Where the fuck else am I gonna get
hops
it?
off your shoulder and kind of flutters one leg, with its one peg leg and eye patch over towards the window. Taps on it a couple of times with its beak. Ah! Ah!
The fuck do you want?
Taking the beach, it kind of grabs the latch, lifts it up, and pushes the window.
Okay, I'm not letting him get away. I am not letting him.
grab the parrot.
No, if you think you're getting away from me, you're sorely mistaken.
Make an
friend.
athletics check. It's going to oppose you with an acrobatics check.
Okay.
I'd like to, after Corzin's done his thing, tell me and I'll do mine.
That's an 8.
No, not quite enough. The window cracks open and it just manages to escape your grasp as it spreads its wings.
I'd like to cast Dissonant Whispers on it.
Okay.
Regent, damn it.
Get the fuck back here, Dissonant Whispers.
Okay. This is wisdom save.
Yes.
Half damage on a successful save.
Yes.
Okay, roll damage.
How high up are we?
That is 11.
Okay, second floor. It's half to 5.
Really didn't think mind reading
As
a
it-
parrot would get this serious,
As it
guys.
flies out of the window, the words seem to connect with it, and its parroted form cracks, twists, and its head explodes.
You broke the parrot!
The parrot seems to sail on for a few minutes before slamming into the ground. Celestia and Corzin, you watch as something seems to tear out of the space where the parrot was, and it's as if a tsunami bursts into being, briefly taking the form of some vast whale. Or just ancient some sort of strange sea creature, which twirls in the air for a moment, and you see something looks down and seems to acknowledge you, that only the pair of you can see. It tilts its head, lowers it gently, and then seems to swim through the air off towards the bay.
Do I have any idea what this is?
Make a religion check.
Can I have I've got an education.
make a
Can I have
religion
a... Yeah.
Can I go and try and find the parrot?
Shit.
3.
7.
It's a spirit. It's obviously some sort of very powerful spirit. And it's gone.
I mean, it goes towards the bay. Can we run
Yeah, it
after
goes
it?
to. You can certainly try and run after it, yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna go running out.
Yeah,
Okay.
me too.
Right.
I'm
Looking
going
out
to
for
look
Evan
the
Guard as
parrot.
I go. Hood up.
Okay, hold on.
Also, I did cast Cure Wounds, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna roll the actual
Yes, please
Yeah.
do. We
thing,
didn't
or
do that.
unless you did.
No, I didn't. I'm fucked. Please help.
8 plus 3. Okay, you were getting 9 hit points.
Thank you. You're a babe.
Okay.
Celestia does not say that. That's not in character.
Yep, you both run down as quickly as you can, chasing into those, getting into this, out into the streets. Okay, as you're turning, it's only like most of the city is completely oblivious to this vast whale-like creature,
How big are we talking?
whale-sized.
Oh, like life-size whale. Jesus. Okay.
Passing over its rooftops, but
Here in
sperm whale or blue whale?
Sperm. Not blue,
Right.
but still pretty big.
Big fucker.
Yeah, that's huge.
Although you don't, like most people don't seem to see it, you see a passing priest just stopping dead in the street and staring up at it as it passes. It's easy to track. It's just a question of making your way quickly through the streets, running after it. But as you watch, you can see all around thousands of small spirits, just household spirits all over the city, are rising up and sort of reeling after it as if accompanying it on its return to the sea. You are pressing your way, just fighting through a crowd of people, trying to reach forward until eventually you just get to the point where you're at the docks, and you see it sail, and it doesn't travel that quickly, but it's still a rush to keep pace with it. And you reach the docks, you're there, and you see it just sail out over the ships until it splashes down into the sea. No real water is turned, but you can hear the echo of the splash in your heads, and the chorus of spirits follow it for a moment and seem to cycle around it. It re-emerges briefly, and two dark whirlpools for eyes stare back at the pair of you as you're standing on the docks staring at it. No one else on the dock seems to notice this. There are probably others who would be running after it elsewhere, those with the sight, but right now it seems only the two of you can see it.
I say to it, what do you want?
And a voice like raging storms comes to your ears.
I was bound for disservice into a form unbefitting of me.
Disservice? To who? To what?
There are more ancient things in this world than you should know, and some their bindings hold me, even now. I thank you for this freedom, mortals. And I offer you this benediction, that your fates should not be doomed as Scarol's and Brandy's were. One day, you may be in a moment of desperate need, and that when that day comes, call for me, and if I can, I may lend you my aid.
What do we call you?
Who are you?
There are none now who remember my name, and so it is lost to me also. Call to me, name me, and think of me as you do so.
And as the entity speaks, you can see it is already seeming to turn into sea foam, fading down into the sea.
Call me and name me, and I will rise once again.
Whatever we call you, you'll know.
If you think of me, I will hear your prayer.
And this, for want of a better word, this ancient spirit, this quite possibly demigod of the sea, just fades and crashes back into the waves and is gone.
Well, fuck.
I really wasn't expecting mind reading a parrot to go like that, if I'm honest.
You're telling me?
Did I find the parrot?
You found the body of the parrot.
Oh
no.
dead rather than unconscious.
Oh yeah, that's
Dead.
a very dead parrot, I'm afraid.
Oh.
It's probably just resting.
Well, I mean, Corzin, bright side, it wasn't the Kraken.
No,
So
thanks
we
to the
don't have
region,
to-
It wasn't.
We don't have to run the fuck out of the town.
Yeah, although I do not like the way that thing was talking. It knew stuff. It knew far more than it volunteered.
Yes, it did. It was big, very big, and I don't just mean the size, I mean its thoughts were big.
Well, I mean, I'm not a scholar of these things, but as I understand it, a lot of the time spirits are a spirit's size is indicative of their age and their power.
Yeah, I mean, look at ours. I indicate to the various things that follow us around. I mean,
The
they're
ambivalent
tiny.
octopus shrugs.
Aw, I love it.
I ask it, like, are you going to be as big as that one day?
The ambivalent octopus tilts its head, shrugs.
Oh,
Oh, I love it.
I love it so much. It's so good.
As you notice that the torrent of just thousands of spirits that followed it into the sea are now slowly rising back up from the waves and just returning to their places scattered around the city.
It's kind of beautiful in a way, I suppose.
It's almost like just seeing... You know when you see on documentaries like those jellyfish migrations?
Yeah.
Or like Chinese paper lanterns on New Year's floating over the sky.
It is kind of breathtaking, actually. You don't often see that many at once.
No. I suppose
You know, you're
just goes to...
the first person I've liked, who I've met, who could also see them.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, here's to many more then. But, I mean, looking at that now, it's just reminds me how much we still don't know.
Oh, we know so little. Better go find Scamp, hadn't we?
Yeah.
You return.
You killed my parrot.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Technically it wasn't yours, but... I'm sorry, Scamp. Whatever that was, it was merely a vessel for something else.
Yeah, there was a very big spirit living in that. It
Well,
said it
I
had
thought
been
was a
bound
dead
there.
parrot.
We could bury it if you'd like.
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't think reading its thoughts would make it explode into a giant sea spirit. That wasn't an eventuality I'd prepared for, I'll be honest.
Please don't read my monkey's thoughts.
I don't think I could anyway, it doesn't talk, darling.
Talks to me.
No, but it doesn't use words. I can only
Okay.
read minds if there's words to understand.
Although there are some spells that allow you to talk to animals, but whether or not they talk back is entirely up to you, up to them.
Yeah, I'm not good with animals.
Right.
You
This is why I don't have pets. Usually.
You've got one pet, and also it's not your fault it was secretly a fucking monster, is it?
I'm not even sure that monster is something you could accurately ascribe to it.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was even evil, really. It's hard to tell.
But we don't
Just
have
big.
to run out of town.
No, we're all right. That actually wasn't the Kraken. Go figure.
If it were, then yeah.
That's somehow not encouraging. So there's something else big and watching in the waters.
As if we need more things.
Actually, this is a point. Did I get any indication of its disposition? I'm not saying like alignment or anything, but out of character, I didn't get the impression it was evil, but obviously very powerful. But could Corzin make any educated guesses?
Corzin would probably have got.
Was?
Yeah, Corzin would have probably gotten the impression of something ancient and unfathomable, like, you know, kind of staring back. Well, barely fathomable. It seems to regard you not so much fondly, but perhaps mildly indebtedly.
Right. It's a case of, I owe you a favour.
Yeah.
You did me a favour.
Interesting.
Well,
Guess.
hopefully that is a strong and powerful friend to have.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, I mean, look at it. If that thing had wanted to squish us, it could have done without even blinking.
No, without thinking about it. But it didn't. Could be useful in future. We're starting to get favours in high places.
Yeah. Although, seriously, thank the saints it wasn't the Kraken.
Yeah, I pass him a bottle.
I've never heard of it hitting a place this big before, but if it did...
You've absolutely heard of it hitting places this big before.
Okay, I will take the little back.
Yeah.
I pass him a bottle of whiskey.
He takes it and has a slug, and he says, if it hit a place this big, then it'd make the shadows look like a feckin' picnic.
That's not the future I want to think of right now.
Should we have a nap?
Yes, God, yes.
Should we bury the parrot?
Let's bury the parrot.
You
I'm sorry about the parrot.
head out. I mean, yeah, there's not that much space in here to bury parrot, but you make a short journey to the edges of the city, walking out through the western gate, through the suburbs.
Celestia's like blowing the remains of the blood out of her nose for like the whole journey. Looking
We're
a
just
bit.
walking through town carrying a dead parrot.
You can put it in a bag if you want. No, there is a box.
Feels
There is a
weird
box.
too.
There is a box.
I'm not
that you're
touching
able to
it,
find.
says Celestia.
I'll carry the dead parrot.
You put the remains.
Just
to
examining the
box.
parrot, is it obvious that its head exploded from the magic and that there's nothing actually other than mundane about it now?
You do find one thing.
Yeah.
The eye patch was lined with lead.
Oh.
If there was anything that beyond that eye, behind it, however, it's gone now.
I'm going to keep the lead eye patch.
Okay, you acquire one tiny lead eye.
Don't know why.
Eye
I'm
patch.
just keeping
Who
it.
made that? Who made a lead eye patch for a parrot? There's so many questions.
So many fucking
Presume-
questions.
Probably somebody who didn't want it seeing through.
Well, it means that I didn't see through it. I can't detect magic through lead.
Still, a small amount of lead could always come in useful, says Celestia, pocketing it.
Yeah, but...
You never know.
Can I, that being the case, can I examine its peg leg?
Okay, it's
Would
leg.
you like snap it off?
The peg leg.
So perfect.
The peg
It's
leg.
not going to use it anymore.
These guys are dicks.
The peg leg appears to be rosewood, as far as you can tell.
That's fancy wood for a peg leg for
A fucking parrot.
humanoid folk, let alone a parrot.
Yeah, it's a really nice tiny peg leg.
Okay, whoever outfitted this parrot had means.
Yeah.
Someone
Hang
out
on.
there is mental.
Hang on.
What?
Hang on.
What?
This might be a bit of a long shot, but I've heard that there are some university folk who, rather than being able to use objects to scry stuff, can actually tell you the history of an object. As this is no longer a living thing, it might give us some clues as to what it actually was.
Oh, you do have a point there. Might fuck up the parrot funeral, though.
It doesn't really count as an object still, does it?
Not sure.
Is a body an object?
Well, actually, to be honest, we wouldn't necessarily need the whole... Oh, well, actually, no, we would.
Well, we could just take like a wing or something.
No, I was thinking of the peg leg.
We could take the peg leg and the eye patch. That might do it.
Well, it might give us a clue as to who made it, because that's something at least.
Well, then we
It's a
can
mess.
bury the parrot and we can take the things.
Alright, let's do that. We might even at least get some clue as to its origins then.
It's
Okay.
fucking snowing. The ground's going to be really fucking hard, isn't it?
I've got fire.
You melt the snow, warm up the ground, and then bury a parrot on the outskirts of the city.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to witness the passing of one really rude parrot. We'll miss it terribly. Arachne, bless this dead parrot. The end. We won't miss it, but we'll pretend we will. Bye. That's Celestia's funeral sermon. You see, I would have made a fucking brilliant cleric, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
It's very moving.
Yeah, I thought so.
So, what was it that was the clincher in the end?
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you had such an obvious, and Corzin is laying on the sarcasm thick here. You had such an obviously promising career in the cloth. What was it that ever made you think that you weren't cut out for it?
Everything. Every single thing about it.
Right. Well, I mean...
You two haven't been to
certainly
an
think
Underdark church, have you?
I'm not allowed
Funnily
in
enough,
churches.
no.
Yeah. Every single fucking thing about it. That's what made me think I couldn't do it.
People tend to panic if I go in churches.
Why?
Because I look like a monster out of a book.
You look perfectly normal. They can shut up. I'll throw rocks at them, I will.
And with Celestia on that one, there's a lot of folk talk a lot of rubbish about tieflings.
Yeah.
But no, I to be honest, I don't know the first thing about religion down below, but
it's fucking brutal. It's brutal and pointless and stupid and unfair. Celestia wells up a little bit.
Corzin puts his hand on hers and squeezes it just gently and says, "I've no doubt you're well shot of it."
Yeah, I think that's for certain.
Yeah, we all stood like around the parrot grave.
Yes.
Yeah.
This conversation.
Yeah.
Just checking. In the snow, really dramatically.
Just, yeah,
Celestia looks around for a second and goes, what the fuck are we doing right now?
Let's go nap.
Yes, let's go to sleep for God's
Okay, you go rest. And you awaken from your rest. You eat shortly before dusk. It's a full long rest, so you get all your hit points back, recover your spell slots and everything.
Good.
You've not actually taken any opium recently, so for once I don't have to do an addiction check.
No, I didn't do that.
Yeah. And indeed, shortly before dusk, you awaken, ready to head out.
Now I'm going to smoke some opium.
Yeah. Okay. You smoke a little bit of opium before sleep, giving you nice dreamless sleep, and raising your addiction. Well, rolling addiction check first of all.
Oh yeah, of course. 17. Woo.
Okay, your
Fine.
addiction counter doesn't actually go up.
Excellent.
So you just awaken, fully rested, all your hit dice restored, and 1d6 temporary hit points.
Yeah, I've rolled that.
Cool.
Not 5.
You awaken feeling excellent, properly rested. Okay, so you emerge and heading over to the McDougal Brewery, you can find that wearing the same cream silk shirt and blue waistcoat as before, Fighty Gubbenswick is loitering not too many a couple of streets away. He has his distinctive droog / opera cane in hand. Got to see the three of you. So, you tell me when Heather's about, and I'll start causing some trouble.
Brilliant.
Right then.
Grand.
Other than that, I guess stay quiet.
Okay.
Alright. I suppose we better go and make our presence known.
Yeah. Let's get on.
So,
Just for a matter of reference, I did retain the peg leg.
okay, you retain the peg leg.
I have written down the eye patch,
Yep,
so I
you
still
have
have
a tiny
it.
lead eye patch.
If I put tiny peg leg on Corzin's character sheet, a cursory inspection might think it was for him.
How too much? Like, how much smaller is it than it would be for Corzin?
So
a
much.
third?
Bearing in mind that it's
no,
for a bird, so it's tiny. It's like
more than a third.
Bird legs are weird.
Yeah, it's like several inches.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, like Corzin's legs are probably what? If we're going heel to waist, maybe
Foot and a bit.
foot and a bit. Yeah.
So you make your way back to the McDougal Brewery and heading in to the ground floor. As before, you're going in through. Are you heading in through the main entrance? You're going round to the back with the stables.
Where did they say to meet us?
They just said here.
I guess we just go in.
Okay, heading back.
Yeah.
To the main
How do you
entrance.
guys feel?
You can see that the. Oh, sorry. I realised I didn't actually give you a chance to discuss that.
I was going to say, I'm happy to go in the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but if they're meeting us here, I don't see the new reason
Yeah.
to...
Yeah.
So, the four of you head round to the front where the door is closed this time, but it is unlocked. And when you open it, you can hear voices coming from the bar. Pulling open the doors, you can see that of the five halflings that were in there before, 4 of them are still there. You recognise Tommy and the barmaid from before, as well as the other male halfling, the other female halfling from one of the female halflings before. One of them doesn't seem to be around for whatever reason, but there is another female halfling there who is sat at the bar with a glass of whiskey, and you can see she drains it as you come in, slams it to the ground, Same red hair as the rest of the McDougalls. But this one, there's something like slightly twitchy and skittish about her. Her hair is kind of frizzy, standing on end and quite long. And when she looks at you, you can see this halfling has kind of bloodshot looking eyes. At her waist, at her hip, in a holster displayed quite clearly is the same 6-barreled pistol that was mentioned to you previously.
So, you're the new hires then, are you? Wasn't expecting 4 of you. Can it be trusted?
I hope it's okay. We brought help. He's great. He can handle himself. Very subtle.
Alright, fine. So.
Morag, I assume? Morag?
Aye, what?
Celestia Stardust, nice to meet you.
She squints at your hand for a moment.
Aye.
Nods, doesn't take it.
I do a little bow instead.
Keeps one hand sort of reflexively at her hip, near but not on her gun, and you can just see that her fingers are gently tapping the handle of it. Just in a distinctive 1-2-3-1, 1-2-3-1, 1-2-3-1 pattern.
Interesting.
Right. Job's very simple. You're going to be riding out with us. We've got a cart that'll be ready. We're going to be making it out through the eastern end of the city. Western, through the western gate of the city. We mostly came towards back streets. We're going to try and avoid the main streets as much as we can. I've already got Sonny and Honey keeping an eye out on the route. If you're not familiar, I'm Morag. This is, she gestures to the barmaid. This is Bonnie. This is Johnny, Tommy, Lonnie. We'll be so you'll be riding with us. We'll be keeping an eye out. There's a good chance that some folks are trying to get hold of this. If they come and spring us halfway through, I want you to just gun them dead. Don't ask questions. Just get them done. Understood?
Yes.
Good. Once we got through, we'll be heading up to the boat. We've got a little something set up in the outskirts of the city. Once we've loaded everything on, you'll get your pay. Understood?
Great.
Right, sounds reasonable. Can I make an insight check to see if she's under the influence of
yes, you can.
anything?
I mean, do we need an insight check? She's got the cocaine drink going on. Like.
Yeah, you don't really need an insight check. She's obviously either on something or wanting on something or needing something.
She's so fucking high right now, I'm sure.
Yeah.
How are her pupils?
A little bit dilated. Yeah. Right. In which case, there's not going to be anything else to worry about. You can help us get the carts into the wagon. Up and at 'em, then boys and girls. And the halflings.
She's crazy.
Get up and perception check. Her eyes dart straight to you for a moment. Scamp, what do you see?
I said, I feel hazy.
Make a deception check.
18.
Right then. Good. On the way. So, she leads you into... she gets up and the... you notice that the way that the halflings travel, she and 2 of her siblings go ahead of you, but 2 actually keep up a rear guard. They don't move until you do. So there's definitely some... So you're slightly forced to move in the centre of this group of halflings. And moving into the next room, you can see that she leads you through one of the doors in the corridor that you hadn't been into before, the one that's directly opposite the main doors. And it opens up into the wide main work area of the brewery. There are a number of barrels laid out, positioned out for that are just have fermenting vats. There is these huge copper vessels for hot mash, the brewing vessels for hot liquor. There is a big old steam boiler in to one side, and then there's just these massive vats filled with, as far as you can tell, just grain and malt in one, hop flowers in another. The whole place just stinks of hops. There's another chamber off to one side that has a closed door. You can't see what's in there. There are a series of racks with empty bottles on them and corks. Looks like that's where they bottle up beer that goes out. And
I look meaningfully at Fighty at this point.
And you can also see that there is a gantry that goes around the whole. There are steps that go up, and up on the first floor, as it were, there's a gantry, a walkway that circles around the whole of this room. As it's happening, and the walkway. I was going to say yes, and by the double doors at the far end, there is a heavy cart with several, with what appear to be several sacks of just malt that have been laid out there, as well as some heavy-looking hogsheads. But you can see that the hogsheads appear to be empty. They're just there and waiting to be filled, rather than ones full of beer to be carried out. The two of the halflings immediately go up the stairs and onto the gantry. And this might be a moment, not necessarily depending on how you do things, where a map would be useful.
Yeah, map would be lovely.
Yeah.
So
I'm
going to pass.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm going to put one into the chat for you, and there is a physical one that I've handed to Ellie there.
Again, as usual, listeners, this will be on the social media post for this week. So if you go on the episode description, we'll do a little link to it.
Yep, and if you're listening to this in the distant future, then you can also find this in the episode description of the website.
If you're on an app that doesn't have the link in the description, just go on the website and it will be all on there.
And you'll find it there. So,
or you can probably do without, but it's just nice to have.
So that map has ground floor at the top, first floor at the bottom. You can see the way that the gantry is laid out.
Yeah.
The grain and hops vats are open to the top, as are the mash brewed liquor vats. And you can see that the brewery is actually still in operation. There's still hot mash, hot brewing liquor in the huge copper cylinders at this time. Mm-hmm. The boiler is boiler is still on. They're clearly not stopping making alcohol. Despite the various crimes that they need to be getting on with, because there's a certain order they need to keep. Two of the halflings do actually go up onto the gantry, and you can see they just seem to be kind of keeping in more of a lookout position, keeping an eye on the entrances to this room, just in case anyone might be possibly sneaking in or similar. Morag takes up a position by the cart, folds her arms, and shouts for the two remaining halflings and the four of you to start loading crates into the wagon. And she nods to the chamber that is closed. One of the halflings, Bonnie, pulls open the door, and you can see beyond is the cold storage room. It's just a stone-lined room which takes advantage of a complete lack of light to keep things cool. There are a number of kegs in here, but as you move the kegs out of the way, you can see there are 10 heavy crates. They're big enough. They're small enough that you can pick them up in both hands. Even a halfling can. but and each one is stamped with the mark of a 5-pointed star, just an equidistant 5-pointed star. No other markings on them. And yeah, they seem to be... Yeah, Morag is clearly expecting you to do the heavy lifting. Okay.
Alright, Corzin limbs up a little bit, and as he picks up the first crate, he's gonna attempt to just weigh it in his hands slightly and get a sense of what might be inside, or at least how much it weighs.
I'm going to say give me a perception check.
Alright.
Because this is a sensory thing.
Okay, that is a 22.
Hefty. There's metal in here. Thinking about the way it rattles, just tilting it side to side, it feels like... Yeah. Some of these barrels are in different shape. These crates are in different... like the size of them. Some of them, they're quite long for all that they can be picked up in two hands, and tilting them a little bit, there's definitely muskets in here. In this one. And you can just feel the rattling of shot as well.
They're outfitting a fighting force of some kind. He thinks to himself, because saying out loud right now would be very foolish.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, lifting it up as you.
We maybe should have planned this.
As you pick up other ones, you can definitely tell. Yeah, these are just packed with arms.
We haven't even decided if we're starting a fight here or on the way out or
here would probably not be a good idea.
How many people are here?
Here there are five halflings total, and 4 of you.
Do they all look like they're coming?
You don't know at this point.
I mean, 5's not actually bad.
My worry is that if we take it into the street, the guards appear.
Yeah, we can't shoot
haven't
anything.
Discussed this.
No, we haven't either. We're metagaming, actually. Oof.
I'm just going to be watching Celestia for the ball of light constantly, because that was the...
Oh, we decided Heather was the signal.
Yeah.
Oh, what? Heather? I missed that bit. You did something about light, and that's all I remember.
Oh, shit.
So
Celestia has no idea about this, so...
happily picking up one of these crates and sticking them into the cart.
How many of these crates are there?
10 in total, and it seems that the way that you're stacking them is you're putting them into the hogsheads, then covering them up.
I say to Corzin very quietly, that person that we were talking about before with Fighty, have you seen her recently?
Out of character, which one are you meaning?
A bit in character.
Yeah, you can
You'd
you
have
can
to
probably
know.
figure that out in character, yeah.
Oh, right, sorry, right.
Fighty glances over as you're saying that. Puts the crate down.
I don't think so.
No, me neither.
But I sort of meaningfully look at the crates to Celestia as if to say, "You figured out what's in that?"
Celestia shrugs.
Okay, by this point you've done one trip, so 4 of between like half of the crates have now been loaded.
Is there a point where nobody's nearby, like in terms of McDougal's?
Yeah, you can. There's a moment when you're going in to get the second lot of crates where you can.
Turn to Corzin. Is it worth doing this now because they said they're meeting somebody in the, at the other end? There's 5 of them here. It might be worth doing it here if we're quiet.
Yeah.
These crates definitely have guns in it.
Problem is, if we do it here, then we're only going to get some of them.
I mean,
I suppose.
Morag's enough.
Actually, okay, here's the plan. If we do it here, then we can use the cart to take all of this back to.
Yeah, including them. I mean, there's.
Yeah.
We're 4-5 right now. That's not bad odds.
Then we can process them, go to wherever they were going to do the deal or whatever they're doing, and find out who they're supplying.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure you could pose as them, but I'm pretty sure they've been told they're halflings at least, won't they?
Yeah, well...
I think I'll be useless to you.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, but yeah, alright.
But what do you think,
If
maybe here?
What's the hold up in there?
Sorry, tripped.
Ugh.
Right, come on, let's continue with the thing. As soon as it's loaded, but like fully loaded.
That's a bad idea.
What?
Why?
Because then they can just run. They're not going to leave a half the stock. That's metagaming though, I wasn't there.
Okay,
Alright.
From the point of view of getting the cart loaded, after we've done this lot, there'll be 8. So there's only 2 crates left. At that point, then maybe give the signal.
Fighty, is your mate Heather in town? Let's see when we go inside.
Fighty puts down his...
I've fucking done it, it's
crate,
happened.
Slaps his hands. You know what? I think she is. And... roll initiative.
Right. Okay, that's a 19.
And actually, you know what? I say that. Looking at the time, I'm going to say hold that thought. Because it's pretty late into the episode. So, Fighty smacks his hand and says, you know what? I think she is. And next time, I'll have your roll initiative.
Yeah.
Because this is a point where, short of playing ridiculously into the night, I think it is a good time for us to pick up next time.
Yeah, we'll end up in a 5-hour episode.
With a gunfight in a brewery.
We'll finish on a freeze frame. To be continued.
Yes.
Alright.
Excellent.
So, thank you all very much for playing. Thank you all very much for listening. And farewell from all of us here at Flintlocks and Fireballs. Fair seas and natural 20s. When purchasing from a pet store, buyer beware, caveat emptor. There's depths beneath its beady eyes that drag you down beneath the tides.
So gather your muskets, gather your spears, we'll plunder the shores of Calcinea. No kraken, storm or spell we fear, so come and sail with us, my dear.